All right. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. And we got our brother Ramo here already saying what's up. Hey, what's up, Ramo? Look, we got a fantastic show here for you tonight. As you can see, we got an absolutely stacked panel here on this edition of the Unlimited Truth. And but before about an hour before we went live, reports started coming out that our boy Jim Ryan, has failed in his attempt to pay off the EU regulators because the EU regulators are going to approve the Activision deal as we all saw knew that this was coming, right? And there's other stuff that we're going to talk about as well. But before we get into it, we got to introduce the panel. And first and foremost, we got to introduce the first lady, Chat Daya. Let them know how are you?
I'm fine, and thank you for having me again on the show. And I think it's something that's long overdue. This is a celebratory show. I think we're starting to see the progression and the hard work that Microsoft has been doing pay off. So
Mhm.
I'm really excited to be here, and thank you for having me.
Yes, as always, you've been nothing but just an excellent pleasure to the exiled family, basically, since you willingly joined, you know,
Thank
and
you.
I can't wait to get your input later. But uh, moving forward, another special guest. He doesn't always have the time to make it to the Unlimited Truth, so when he joins, I'm always just blessed to have him here. Our brother Sega Man, introduce yourself, my friend.
I won't deny it. I'm a straight rider. You don't want to fuck with me. What's up,
Wow.
everybody? It's your boy Sega, man. Glad to be here on the Unlimited Truth with look at our panel, man. We got so much great news, man. People are gonna be crying, salts of tears, man. So much salt, man. We could pave the streets when it's snowing out and
Yeah,
blizzard out, man.
yeah.
Yeah, salt mountains
So,
because they're gonna be crying and
so,
whining, man, when we get into our podcast, man.
hey, Sega man, so much salt that we could salt down California that's buried in snow.
Yeah. Yo, Phil Spencer did an interview this week, so that's salt. So they got unlimited salt too. Hey, but
Mhm.
but but
Yeah,
next up, oh, what's that second man?
yeah. I hope you guys see the short interview he did with Charlie from
Yep, from Xbox On.
yeah,
Charlie,
that was pretty good. That was a good
Charlie
little interview.
Hudson, aka Big Sexy out there.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
man.
Yeah,
saw it.
Yeah.
yeah. Hey, and of course, man, my big brother in the game, E-Rock X, man. Introduce yourself.
Hey, what's going on, man? It's E-Rock X, the Don King of Xbox, the hype man for the Xbox brand, and the meanest man on YouTube. As usual, I don't know what's going on, man. I follow the entertainment business. I haven't really followed the gaming industry because I've been busy gaming.
Yeah,
But
Yeah. Yep.
I just wait for y'all to contact me, and be like, yo, man, the world did flip. I'm like, really? We told y'all the world was going to flip 2 years ago.
yeah.
So I mean, let's get on with this, man. I'm let's I see the headlines, so I'm ready to go. Let's go.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey,
Oh man.
Unlimited, hold on a second. Allow me to be the first to catch somebody in a lie, and that would be Mr. E-Rock here. He said
Shit, here
he
we
only
go.
he only follows entertainment. Hey, dear, this is the most entertaining thing in sports.
It
I have
is.
my champagne right here. E-Rock, you are going to be enlightened tonight. This is a 7 p.m. Hide the women and children except for Dia, and she cussed out Unlimited. She said, "Hey, Unlimited, I'm not a dude. I'm a girl."
Oh boy.
Oh man, hey, and of course, man, our brother who represents the chat, other Zinc, introduce yourself, and also you got to answer our brother Vodka as well.
Uh-oh. What up, everything? Break it. Oh, break out the champagne. Hey, doctor, we were in the green room. I asked Dia what does she drink because she's new to the show. Thanks to Sega Man and Unlimited, and I asked her what she drinks. She's drinking vitamin water. Okay, so and my boy Ramo jumped in here, and he knows that I'm not going to drink. I usually come in here with Cabernet or Merlot or something like that. I'm drinking champagne because this is a celebratory event,
Yes, it
and
is.
we're gonna show E-Rock that this is entertainment. We got Dia's cousin, Miss Lulu Chin Messervey, that is smacking people across
Hmm.
the face. This is just a great day. What's up, chat? Jeremy Brown, my dog out there. What's up?
Yeah. Hey, Jeremy, man, I'm glad you joined us, man. And last but not least, I know he walked out before we got started, so I'm hoping he's here. Tuckmaster, introduce yourself.
Hey everybody, this is your boy DJ Truckmaster, Resident Pony Killer, and I'm so glad this day is happening. And I'll be even more proud when the day when Sony go take their ass out of business. So let's just get this damn thing to rolling.
Yeah, hey, Sega man, I got you on Tuckmaster watch tonight. So if he fucks up once, you gotta jump on him, man.
Wow.
He already starting. His mouth full of grits and chitlins. Look at listen to it. It's already going down.
You're already going in.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, so let's get started here. So as I said at the very, very beginning, the breaking news about an hour before we got started, Jim Ryan's plans to stop the Activision deal was as futile as me trying to stop the president and go to war, right? The Activision deal is going to be approved by EU regulators. Now, this isn't anything surprising. If you watch the Unlimited Truth, the Exile podcast, or the Lions Den, Xbox Alpha, or anything in between, you know that we said with our full confidence, without a shadow of doubt, that this deal was not going to be stopped, especially by a bunch of regulators in a country like not a country, in the European Union, a collection of countries, if you will, right? And so, but just to see it official, just to see, and you know what makes this so great, Iraq, is that the reaction. And my favorite thing about moments like this, Iraq, are those salty moments.
Ripple and ham I'm sorry, man. Oh God.
You good. Hey man, the chat started already. Damn. But yeah, Iraq X, man. I'm gonna start with you because I think me and you are kind of on a similar wavelength here. Are you surprised by this, that the EU regulators are going to approve this deal, or are you like just pretty much the rest of us? Just like, yeah, of course it's going to happen. I just want to see the meltdown at this point.
Man, look, man, this whole last 3 months of Jim Ryan and everybody and all of these journalists and pseudo journalists and financial advisors and everybody on Twitter being suddenly financial experts and regulators. Jim Ryan crying to the most powerful government in the world, the government of Brazil, and him going to regulators and bitching and crying to stop this deal was about as futile as regulators trying to stop bodegas from selling loose cigarettes. And I just laughed and laughed and laughed and laughed. Not just at the regulators trying to stop the loose cigarettes, but at Jim Ryan trying to stop this deal. Yeah. We have said, those of us who follow business and understand how business works and have been watching white folks do business for the last 30, 40, 50 years, that when a board of directors votes unanimously to sell their company, that deal is usually going to go through. Mm-hmm. Okay? When MGM votes unanimously to sell to Amazon, that deal is going to go through. When Warner Brothers votes unanimously to be acquired by Discovery, don't know why, that deal is going to go through. So we knew this, Unlimited Production knew this, Outer Zinc knew this, Sega, man, anybody with any sense knew this, except for the PlayStation fans who live in this bubble where they got to keep this dying brand alive, who live in this fucking fantasy world where Spider-Man and God of War are these bangers, and PlayStation themselves have come out and said, our exclusives don't make any money, we need Call of Duty. Like, this is a brand in decline, okay? We've been saying this since the Exile podcast began nearly 3 years ago. Mm-hmm. Look, man, this was inevitable. This victory lap was inevitable. So that's why I sat back and been like, man, catching good naps, getting my gaming on, and not really following this because, you know, the inevitability of it was just written on the wall. Like, y'all thought that y'all were actually going to stop a multi-billion-dollar company from
Mhm.
selling to another multi-billion-dollar company.
And
I've
it's so
never seen. I've never seen it done. I'm a little bit older than most of y'all. I'm 53. I'll be 54 in April. I've never seen it done before. I've never seen one of these deals stopped. They never,
Right.
never.
Right.
I've never. When the white people want to sell, ain't nothing on earth going to stop them. You can protest. You can be out there with signs. You ain't nothing going to sell. You know what I mean? I'm a religious person, but I mean they could probably hear the trumpets of Gabriel and see Jesus coming back, and they still going to
You got that
sell.
right, Rob.
The white folks ain't gonna let nothing stop them from making that bread. So for Sony in these EU regulators to say y'all got bigger problems, European Union, EU regulators, y'all got bigger problems. Y'all right next door to Russia. Y'all got bigger problems than worrying about fucking good looking out box.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Thank you,
Thank you,
Box.
Box. Thank you.
y'all got bigger problems going on than they're worrying about Xbox, and as far as the gaming industry is concerned, like the whole thing was ridiculous. Y'all so worried about Xbox getting Activision, like it just boggled my mind that these people, these regulators, these cats in the media would rather see foreigners like Embracer Group or Tencent grab up Activision than an American company. But I don't want to get all into politics. I am an American, a proud American. I don't want to get all into politics about how everybody that voted against this to me was nothing but expatriates and need to leave this country. But
Mhm.
this Microsoft Activision deal is going to save jobs.
It
It's
is.
going to create jobs.
Mhm.
It's going to restructure Activision into a company that's less crazy, a company where Bobby Kotick can't smack a hoe. It's going to be a much better. It's going to be a much better because that's what he did. I mean, Bobby Kotick is wild. So, and even he is riding off into the sunset with a golden parachute that no one here can even imagine.
and
So,
nobody can stop it. So they
eh,
need to calm down.
other Zinc, or Sega Man says Outer Zinc. Could
Right?
you repeat what you just said?
And nobody can stop his golden parachute because it's written into his contract. So everybody needs to just settle down. He gonna get his money.
Man, look, man. I've been watching these deals for decades, man. The big deal back from when I was younger, in my late 20s, was the AOL Time Warner merger, which was disastrous. But wasn't nothing going to stop them. Wasn't nothing going to stop them. Microsoft is not America Online. They're not going to sell off divisions. They're not going to suddenly have a fire sale. The company is in good hands. And Phil Spencer did an interview. Why I don't know, saying that he's not going to deprive anybody of Call of Duty because that's the right thing to do. That's Phil. Whereas me and other Zeke would have yanked Call of Duty the hell off of PlayStation.
And
Phil
deal.
Phil is smarter than that.
Mhm.
That's why I don't run a multinational billion-dollar conglomerate because I run off of violence, right? And you can't have a nigga like me in charge of a multinational conglomerate, right? You need cooler heads to be involved in shit. They'll know they're gonna make money off of Call of Duty regardless.
Yep.
All this was about, Dia. All this was about, my dear, was they did not want the inevitability, and I say my dear as a term of endearment, not
Oh, I
disrespect. We
know.
love you.
Yeah.
They didn't want Dia Call of Duty coming to Game Pass. Speak,
Exactly.
speak on this. I'm done. Speak on this.
No. You're absolutely 110% spot
He just
on
set us up.
because to pretty much point out one thing that proves what you just said, Erock. Sony just the other day said their AAA exclusives aren't profitable. They need that third party, i.e., Call of Duty money, to fund them games. Now, Hebot made a fantastic video about it, and I would love to dig more into it a little later as well.
Unlimited. Not to cut you off, sir, but what a slap in the face is that to all of these dudes that have told us for the last 8 years, "Oh, our bangers, Spider-Man, God of War," when Sony themselves said y'all shit ain't profitable. Oh man, I wouldn't even know how to. How could you still plant your flag if you're a PlayStation guy? How can you still go in the chat rooms and talk shit? How
And
can
you
you
said it
still
more than
uh,
once,
uh
Rock.
yeah, how can you still be waiting on Tuck in the lunchroom to talk shit after seeing this? It ain't no more shit talking. It's done. It's over. The
Yeah,
shit talking is done.
yeah. Listen, they've came out and pretty much exposed themselves, but this is probably my favorite expose, if you will, yet, because the exclusive one was that's the big one. That's the one that's been thrown in our face. There's nothing bigger than listen. They're bragging so hard about exclusives. I've even saw this article today with Baldur's Gate 3 heading to PS5. Could it be bigger deal than
Oh,
Starfield?
oh my God.
This is the comedy that we're dealing with,
Oh,
folks.
Man.
This is why I love moments like today, Erock, Zinc, Daya, Tuck, and Sega Man. It's because every single time something big happens at Xbox, they lose their mind. And when they lose their mind, you just get nothing but gold. So I'm gonna pivot over to Tuckmaster. Tuckmaster, you there?
before you do that, can I address
Oh yeah,
Dr.
go ahead,
Hopper's
Daya.
comment?
Yeah,
Go in.
fellas, I'm here.
All
Okay.
right, hold on. Let Daya go. Hold on.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, he says here they say China will pass it with no addendums, but my cousin Destin says all Activision games are staying multi-plat. Okay,
No.
there's a misconception here. Okay, the reason why Microsoft put all their games on Nvidia is because with Stadia collapsing, it left the cloud market really with them as the powerhouse, and they need to have some type of opposition there. That's what the regulators were concerned about. So by we're not really fearing Nvidia when it comes to Microsoft cloud gaming. So they're giving them these games in order to assure that there's another competition entity out there that can compete with them. That's what they're doing. They're making sure they're not a monopoly there. So people are running with this. They're saying now all the games are going to be going to console and all that. That's not the same market. So I just wanted to clarify that. I don't care if Destin is saying that. All of their games are not going to go to other platforms. It's going to Nvidia as a special case because in the cloud market, Stadia collapsed, and Nvidia is probably the only other thing left out there, and it's weak compared to Xbox Cloud Gaming.
Yeah,
Hey,
absolutely spot
hold
on.
on. Let me expound on that. Thank you, dear, for
Okay.
teeing that up perfectly. Not only are they doing that with Nvidia, what Microsoft is doing is pulling a silent E-Rock and Outer Zinc. He is slowly killing Sony. The way you kill somebody, Sony had all of this exclusivity, right? With Call of Duty. They managed everything. They held on to everything. Now what Microsoft is doing, they took their cash cow that makes their that they invest in other products of theirs, they took it and they diluted it. They put added water. They put it on 150 million new users, including NVIDIA. That's how you kill
Exactly.
them.
That's
Now,
exactly it.
Sony,
Yeah. I'm sorry.
correct. They're not the main focus now.
Yeah.
So not only will they lose money because it'll be on more devices, people are going to see, hey, I could get this for a cheaper price here. Why don't I
Right.
go here?
Yeah.
So now they're going to eventually lose those Call of Duty sales. They'll eventually lose PS5 sales, and Sony will slowly wither away. And I'm going to drink this champagne.
Hey, Zeke, man, this
Yeah.
whole thing, the way this whole thing unraveled was like that scene in the second season of The Sopranos when he found out that Big Pussy was wired, and he took him on the boat, and they asked Big Pussy, Sony, was you ever even really competition for Microsoft? Like were they ever really competition? Because y'all was lied to. The whole world was lied to. These guys weren't ever competition.
Right. And to further expound on that, you go all the way back to, and I don't know if you saw this deal. I
Mhm.
mentioned it to E-Rock because a few of us saw it on the panel, but the Xbox documentary. The Xbox program was about to get blown up because Bill Gates was pissed. And somebody, my boy Ramo and I, Ramo said, this guy in the hallway, way down the hall, because Robbie Box said, "Well, nobody knows about it, so we might as well not do it." We haven't announced anything. And some dude outside of the room, way down the hallway, said, "Hey, what about Sony?" Bill Gates was like, "Let's do it." Instead of giving you guys 500 million, we'll give you $1 billion to start this Xbox project. Okay. And it started from there. And now we're here 23 years later. They can't stop this. This house is moving.
And you know what, fellas, and I'm gonna add to that too. Adams, one thing I did not know is that Google and Apple run the mobile, they run the mobile market. Okay. Now, the problem with Microsoft, they had a problem getting into the mobile market because of what was going. I didn't know Google and Apple. I didn't know that Google. I knew Apple ran it, but I didn't know that Google had a part of it either. I did not know that until they said that the other day.
You didn't know that Google had a part of what?
Part of the. They want part of the mobile market so it won't be locked down to two.
Oh, okay.
To two industries, really.
Yeah.
And that just make common sense. So I see why Microsoft, they say Call of Duty is not even that's not even what they want it for. They really want it for the mobile market.
Yeah. Tuck, people say that, Tuck, and of course they do want it for the mobile market, but
right.
At the same time, if they really, really only wanted the mobile market, then they would have sold Call of Duty off. But they hold it.
But that's what I'm saying.
I get what you're saying. I mean, I get what you're saying, but all parts are equally important. Okay.
Yeah.
And Microsoft knows that this is Sony's bread and butter. And they're gonna strangle them.
Right. And they're gonna put a sugar on it.
It's like Brad Smith walking around with that contract in his back pocket. This just walking around with it and shit.
And Sony will take it anyway because that contract they have with Activision is gonna be done in the next couple of years. And they, with all this stuff going, they ain't gonna sign that 2-year another agreement with them no more. They get a discount off that.
That's true. They do get a discount.
That ain't gonna happen again.
I'm gonna hit on that later, because Sony is getting a better margin, and we're gonna talk about that later. We're going.
One thing, fellas, I did not know that Microsoft got 58 games on PlayStation.
Yeah, that shocked me.
I didn't know that. I was like, what? I mean, I know about Minecraft and other, but I didn't know about 58 games.
Yeah, man, it's just little things. Those things are insignificant. Like Sony, I know what you're saying. It shocked me too. I agree.
We got 58 games on there. If we got 58 games on there, 58 games. I don't care how small they are, how big they are. Sony's not sharing none of their games.
Yeah. That 58 games, that does include stuff like Fallout 76.
Right.
Legacy titles.
Yeah. Wolfenstein, the Wolfenstein series and all them other stuff. So it's stuff like that. But yeah, excellent stuff, Tuck. You got anything else to add?
I'm through with that one.
Awesome. Yeah, man, that absolutely fantastic stuff. And Jeremy Brown, thank you, said the panel, brilliant panel, sheer brilliance. Thank you, Jeremy.
Thank you.
Always, and Radiant said not all games are going to be on multiplayer. Yeah, thank you for reminding me, Radiance, because I did want to address that when Daya was speaking. Guys, for everybody who's listening, all the games are going to be multiplayer. Sometimes I feel like people suffer from short-term memory because just a couple years ago, before the Bethesda deals were approved, we heard the same shit, right? We heard the exact same stuff. And what happened? As soon as it was approved, they went on stage on that show they did in early 2021 and said, no, we're going to have exclusive content, but we're just not taking legacy games away, basically. This is going to be the same thing with Activision. All right. Again, I must remind people, you do not spend $70 billion for the status quo. That does not happen on any face of this planet. But Sega Man, I'm glad you're able to join us, man. Because so far it's been just a crazy fun show talking about Microsoft Activision, the Activision deal approved by EU regulators. And it's so funny because we got Jim Ryan who flew to Brussels to try to stop it. People care about the environment now, so he's flying his private jet around Europe.
that motherfucker was like James Bond. He was all over the country. He was all over the world trying to stop this deal.
He looked like Danny Bonaducci's dad, don't he?
So second man, I want to get your thoughts, man, on another failed attempt by Sony. As we said, we knew that this deal was going to go through, but I just want to get your thoughts on everything, man. So I think it's just been fantastic.
Hey man, hey, I want those people out there, like we've been saying for a long time, man. I want y'all to keep that same energy, because we've been telling you, we've been telling you from the beginning, man, that you cannot stop this. You can't stop this, and there is going to be exclusivity. You're not going to be able to play Crash Bandicoot no more. You're not going to be able to play Spyro the Dragon anymore, unless you're either on your PC with the Game Pass, or you have an Xbox. That you're not getting those games. Okay, you're not getting all those games. Like Unlimited said, they did not invest all that money to keep everything on other platforms. Yes, they're going to do certain games and stuff like that, and that's cool. I understand that, but there's going to be games that you're not going to see on Sony. You're not going to see it on there. You're not going to see it on there. You're going to have to either purchase an Xbox, get your Game Pass, get your Obama phone or whatever you need to get. You know what I mean? If you want to play, these games, man. That's just the way it is. And me and Unlimited said there is no if. There is no if.
No.
They got Activision Blizzard. There is no if they get it. No, they have it, bruh. We've been telling you that, man.
Yep.
There is no if.
Yeah, I mean, like E-Rock said, Sega, man, I don't mean to cut you off.
No problem, brother.
98% of the shareholders approved it. 98%. So that tells me everything I need to know. All right. If they aren't fighting it, then you at this point, these guys are just collecting checks. The regulators, America and Europe and everybody else are just collecting checks basically to waste time just to push this along, basically. That's my theory, at least, because who's objecting? The only people that has objected to this has been Sony. Even Nintendo's been cool with this, Sega, man.
Hey, let me jump on Unlimited. And people are like Destin and others are trying to say, oh, Google is in on it too. No, bro, it's Sony. It's all Sony. Sony all by itself is just Sony. Period.
It's not Google. It's not Google, like a brother Zink said, man. Hey, you guys, like I'm told you guys before in past podcasts, you guys did this, okay? You guys did this, all right? Back in 2013,
collect those receipts. Get them, Sega man, get them.
Y'all was talking all that shit, talking about the VCR box. It doesn't have the power.
1080p.
It's 1080p.
Xbox has no games. Now we got all the games.
Yeah, you guys did this. You guys guys made this happen. And I want to know what? I want to thank y'all. Thank you. Thank you for doing it.
Thank you for being a friend. Thank you.
Right.
Wow.
We're getting more and more games. And you remember what Phil Spencer said, right, panel? We will never ever be beaten in the power narrative again.
Yep.
Ever.
That's right.
So the next Xbox that comes out is going to be the most powerful console again.
Mm-hmm.
And they're probably already working on it right now as we speak.
Of course they are.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Of course, Sega, man.
And just you know what? And like Phil Spencer, he's a nice guy, brothers, and Dea, First Lady of Chat. Phil Spencer is a nice guy. I do give him props the way he carries himself, because he's a gentleman. And he went to Sony, he gave them that contract, and they turned it down. It is Jim Ryan's fault. So if you want to go bitch at somebody, you want to go cry to somebody, you want to go troll somebody, then you need to go troll Jim Ryan, okay? Because he got thrown a bone and he didn't take it.
2024.
And it's scary because that when he gave him that offer, it was just a starting point.
Right.
They never expected him to take 3 years. It was just a starting point. He should know that as a negotiator.
Yeah.
And you know something, dear? It wasn't even 3 years. It was 5 years.
Oh,
Jim
5
Ryan
years.
started off flying. Because
Wow.
he told everybody they offered us a 3-year deal.
Right.
Yeah.
But it was we didn't know until like what Unlimited, like 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
That we offered
Wow.
him 5 years.
Oh man.
I wouldn't have turned that down, man. I would have said, okay, that's cool. 10 years, I can, if I was a part of a gaming company and they offered me that, I would have took it, man. But he's going to say no, throw it right back in their face. So you get what you deserve. You get what you deserve, man.
Let me jump on you, Sega man. I'm glad you brought that up.
You caught him in a lie?
No.
Oh, all right.
He hit a point that I know I'm going to forget later on, and I'll be quick with it. But you said he should have taken that deal.
Mhm.
And here's the thing: people are praising Jim Ryan, saying that he should get a raise for fighting like this. No,
Oh man.
dear, hey, I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you
What,
screamed off
man?
like that. Hey, listen. Here's the thing that there's good business and there's bad business. Okay, I only had 1 year of business law. I knew from day one they didn't have a leg to stand on. Jim Ryan, that idiot, should have known that himself.
Yeah.
They think of all of the money they spent. E-Rock, you talk about
That's
him
right.
gassing up the jet. He flew from Brazil to Brussels to
To,
Washington.
to the Pitcairn Islands. He was going to anybody who would listen.
This hey, I even heard Tuck Master said that he flew all the way to Antarctica. Ain't even shit there. You know, he flew out shit, you know,
For penguins.
they do right. And so he flew all over the place. Dude, they spent millions trying to stop something that they could not stop.
It was inevitable.
It was
You,
inevitable. Our
you're a $48 billion company trying to get involved with tech giants. You're not a tech giant no more.
hey,
You're not a tech giant no more, are they? They're
no,
not.
No.
No,
Hey,
they're not even
even
close.
even better yet, you're fighting our greatest investor of all time, Mr. Warren Buffett, that owns like
Mhm,
17%.
mhm,
He threw
mhm.
big bucks into this, and you're fighting this? And you brought Lena Khan in here, and then you brought Elizabeth Warren and that dusty ass Bernie Sanders in here to corroborate your idiot ass story. You could have saved this money. It's like, hey, Phil, man, hey, if you can't beat them, join them. Go what you got to give us, you know, and
Yeah.
save that money.
Jim Ryan should have been on his knees thanking Phil Spencer that Phil Spencer name isn't Steve Ballmer or
Yeah.
what's my man who used to run
Wow, you
Xbox,
said
man?
Steve Ballmer. He would have just smacked everybody.
Yeah, or my brother, man. Oh man, his name escaped me. Peter
Peter Moore.
Peter Moore. Thank you.
Oh, Peter.
Yeah, yeah.
And Bill Gates is a jackass too.
Yeah. He
This
should be
dude.
he should be lucky. He should be lucky. His opposing figure is Phil Spencer, not Peter Moore, not Steve Ballmer, not Bill Gates, not any of the old school brass, because they would have
Hard.
looked at him and just shut the door in his face. Like,
Yes.
who's this dude?
Yes, but
I can't believe that. I can't believe they said Jim Ryan, he should get a raise for fighting so violently. That's like saying Joe Frazier, you should get a raise for Muhammad Ali beating you the fuck up. Here, man. Here's a couple extra thousand for getting that black eye. Get the fuck out of here.
hey, but E-Rock with Joe Frazier, at least that was a part of the greatest trilogy of all time.
Yeah, of course.
I'm talking about with Mass Effect and shit like that. I mean, just an epic battle to make the greatest human ever, Muhammad Ali, say, "Hey, I'm glad he quit because I was gonna die."
But this wasn't part of an epic trilogy. This was just a fucking beatdown. This was a dying company that
Yep.
was kept afloat the last 8 years by perception. Y'all had the discussion before,
Yes.
and now the perception has faded away, and they found out who the real giant was in gaming when that Bethesda ZeniMax deal went through.
Yep. And let me get
And the fear mongering began there, and we just been watching it unravel for the last 3 years into this inevitability. We didn't have to go on Twitter. I didn't have to make no videos about it. Why was I gonna waste my time making a video about an inevitability?
And let me get at Unlimited. And I don't want to bash you Unlimited because you're too young.
Get him.
But E-Rock knows that Phil Spencer isn't as arrogant and assholes like E-Rock and I. He and Ballmer and those
Peter Moore.
and Peter Moore. But what what Phil Spencer did, he was driving his Cadillac. You remember those long ass Fleetwoods we used to drive, E-Rock? Back
The car the king had, Elvis. Yes, sir.
hey man, and make that long ass Cadillac turn. That's what
Right.
Phil
You
Spencer's
remember
driving.
that? You remember that Concoline and straightening comb that Zeke used to use? You remember that? Remember when the Tuck used to use that Concoline and straightening comb, bro?
shit. Hey, Sega man, hey, dear, I know your ass remember this, dear. You old
No,
enough.
Friday night,
Like,
man.
hey, you remember that hot comb that they
I
stuck on the
do.
stove?
I remember
Hey,
that.
boy, hey, that's what
Madam,
that's what
Madam C.J. Walker, hot grease and a hot comb. You can look like the white folks. Sega man, you bring up the most obscure.
Not so.
That shit was funny as hell, boy. All right, man, I'm out. I can't take it no more after that.
Oh
You brought
man.
that bullshit.
Hey, Unlimited and the panel, man. Before you move on, brother Unlimited, did you guys? And I know y'all listening. I know you guys is listening, Mister Share My Screen, and all you guys over there. Did you really think that Sony could beat Microsoft? Did y'all guys really think that?
No.
Because if you did, you're really not intelligent. You're dumb. Did you really think Sony could beat a behemoth Microsoft? Please, a software company that can destroy you and eat you up in seconds.
Especially after talking all that shit.
I know.
Mega shit, hot shit, epic, unprecedented shit that I've never seen before. And man, I've seen the Rolling Stones and Pink Floyd, and I've never seen as much shit talk as Sony fans talk this last couple of years about the exclusives and Xbox got no games, and even more laughable 2 weeks ago. Y'all forgot about this. Sony needs to buy Xbox.
Oh yeah. Oh God. Oh.
This is the new narrative published today, March 2nd, 2023. Sony is reported to buy Take-Two Interactive if the Microsoft Activision go through.
You gotta be kidding me.
What?
Man?
This weird. I listen, E-Rock. I noticed this since the Activision stuff blew up, really. But for some reason, everybody in the gaming community, E-Rock, has this unwavering faith in Sony, except for Sony themselves. I know you guys like I know Sony don't have faith in it because they literally say stuff like this. And I'm going to pivot to our next topic about Sony claiming its AAA exclusives are not profitable. This was, oh my God, this might be my favorite thing ever because nothing is thrown in an Xbox fan's face more than the word exclusive. Oh, Spider-Man is going to be bigger than Starfield. God of War destroys everything. Every game Microsoft is working on. We've heard it all. So go ahead, Zink.
And you know what? I gotta address Ramo because he this is the dude E-Rock where I said this is the motherfucker that called me. He go to work super early, but he could call my ass at damn near 4:35 in the morning. He'll say, "Hey, is Sony out of business yet?" And I'm like, man, unfortunately, not yet. It's him. And that's the one with the wife that make this right dude that's to die for. But he brought this up the other day. He said, he talked about how Bill Gates hates Sony. And when you watch that first segment of that Microsoft documentary, he clearly hates Sony. And that's all you had to do was say, hey,
Nick, you're right.
What
Bill
about
Gates,
Sony? Yeah.
Right.
He did. Now,
that's true.
If the world's greatest businessman does not like you, you actually thought you were going to stop them from buying something that they wanted? Never.
No.
Never. It would never have happened.
It ain't never gonna happen to them. No.
Yeah,
I mean, to think this is just the beginning, because Phil Spencer said it's not going to end. So Sony's pain is just going to keep coming in waves, and they're not going to get out of it. And it's just the beginning. And the collapse that we're seeing in the media and in the fan base, just sit back, grab your popcorn, because it's about to get a lot worse.
It's going to get way worse. And you know what? I'm glad Dia said, I love this panel. All we need is Hebot to fall in here. But Dia, you just said something more important there. And Phil Spencer, when they had that interview with the Xbox On lady, Phil Spencer laughed and said, haha, yeah, I had some extra money and shit. I think he said and shit after he said, I had a little extra money. Get out of here, dude. Yeah. So.
Hey, Unlimited, you think we can get Charlie on the podcast?
Yeah, I think Unlimited could do it between Sega Man and Unlimited. We could get on here.
Yeah, shit.
I'm glad. So I'm glad we brought her up again. Because now let's talk about how much money Jim Ryan saved Microsoft. Oh, and I know you saw this Unlimited. Some clown posted that Microsoft is they're getting their marketing budget cut Okay. Well, anyway, hey, Microsoft brought the squad over, right? So while Phil Spencer chilling, he drove up in his Cadillac, and he's sitting there with Charlie, and it's like, yo, yeah, since we here, I might as well go ahead and visit our other studios and see what they doing.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah, that's right.
you hear that shit, Unlimited? Hey, we're in Bethesda, and then she said, when you go over to one of the studios, make sure you go downstairs to the pub. There's a nice pub down there. Okay, yeah, and they
Yeah,
heard.
you know what? That's another thing, but I'm glad what you talked about on that show. He also mentioned about this exclusivity that PlayStation have on
Talk about it, Tuck.
Mhm.
on the Henry Potter game,
Hmm.
and he gonna learn to talk
Yes,
about
he
that. He
did.
was
Oh,
saying, you
he
know what,
did.
they can, other words, he
Yeah.
just more like just said they can have that. I mean, they
Yeah,
had to
he
spend
made
money
it
Great
to
point.
clear.
Go ahead,
get the
dear.
whole
Yeah.
thing on their system.
Great point,
So,
Tuck. I'll let you have
uh,
that one, dear.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah, I saw that
so
interview, and yes,
yeah,
he made it very clear that that's not what they do, and he didn't
Mm-hmm.
he didn't make it seem like, oh, it's okay if they do it, but we just don't do it. He didn't do that. He made that
right.
clear that that's not a good practice that's in the industry,
Yeah,
Correct.
and that
and
Xbox doesn't follow through on that.
yeah,
Mhm.
and Dea to add to that, it's a proven fact because again, what's the point of spending millions on DLC when Hogwarts Legacy sells 12 million copies on all
Right,
That's
platforms?
true. That's
right,
true.
And
right.
right, and and this is what Microsoft and Xbox learned last generation. What's the point of wasting money on stuff we don't own? Just
Y'all
buy it.
spent y'all
That's true.
spent y'all spent an untold I don't know how many millions of dollars to WB Games for here's exactly what it was. It
Yes.
wasn't an extra level. It wasn't anything extra.
Mhm.
Y'all spent I don't know how many hundreds of millions of dollars to WB Games for a fucking horse called a Thestral, a battle arena, some wizarding clothes, and some other shit that you
Yeah.
can just buy as DLC on the Xbox store. You paid all of this money so you could have the PlayStation name written over the Hogwarts Legacy commercials, where
Right,
everybody knew that the game was on Xbox and PC. Do you
that's
see the
right.
utter futility of how Sony has ran business the last 11 years? And this is why they're where they're at. You have nobody to blame but yourselves. There's no need getting on Twitter.
Yep.
There's no need on listening to
Telling
this
me.
podcast and
Yep.
saying
Yep.
y'all just gloating. Y'all just no. We told y'all this 3 years ago on the Exile podcast when we first started. Four guys just sitting around speculating about gaming, but who understood business.
Yep.
And then as our circle grew to include Miss Dia and other Zinc, or as Sega Man says, Outer Zinc, they've all repeated the same thing over and over again. But y'all continued to go to Twitter to bitch and moan and live in this little bubble of Sony should buy Xbox. Xbox is slashing their marketing budget. Like guys, it's over. It's done. Y'all can move on now. Y'all can find something else to do. Everything we told y'all came true. But we're not any speculators or business analysts. We just saw what the handwriting was on the wall. Big bank beat little bank. It's unfortunate, but it's just how business is done. And now we can all move on. But they won't be able to move on, Dia, because
No.
the perfunctory and obligatory Colin Moriarty video was coming next week about how this is bad for the industry and all this is terrible. And oh, you just wait to the aftermath of this. They are going to be in rare form, and guys, it's going to be hilarious.
Hey, E-Rock, let me jump on E-Rock one. This is why I like the panel. He said something else important. He talked about the money that they spent on Hogwarts. And somebody else said, oh, people don't even know Hogwarts is on the Xbox. Hey, stupid ass people. There are 30 plus million Game Pass
Right.
subscribers. Hogwarts is right on the title screen soon as you turn your damn Xbox on. We know it's there, bruh. Settle down.
But you know,
Yes,
hey, but Adam, but it's hard. It's hard to imagine that that people know it on the Xbox. But that's the reason why they do them damn commercials for Sony, because Sony can say, "Well, it's only on Sony." I'm like, and these people go around with it and just say, "Okay, well, it's only on Sony." And that's how they think.
It's
yeah.
one of their
And
it's
did it
one of their
work?
oldest tricks.
Did it
That's
work,
how
Tuck?
people think.
Yeah, Tuck. But did wasting millions or millions upon millions on such deals work?
Mhm. No,
Are people not playing Call of Duty on Xbox? Are people not playing Hogwarts
all
Legacy on
Right,
Xbox? Are
right.
people not playing Madden on
Yeah, we know
Xbox?
that.
Are people not playing GTA on Xbox? Last I checked, they're always the biggest freaking games on the console. So
Mhm.
what's the point, Tuck, of Sony wasting money like that?
Hey,
That's right, because they're stuck in 1995 when it worked against the Sega Saturn,
yeah,
Yep,
but don't realize that in 2023 that don't work on a
not
company like
viable.
Microsoft.
Mm-hmm.
Jim Ryan, Jim Ryan doesn't need a raise. He actually needs to be fired. That's what used to happen
yeah,
in
he needs to be
companies.
fired.
When a company tanked under your stewardship, you used to get fired.
Yep.
That's what used to happen. I don't know what happens now because shit's been topsy turvy since 2018. But yeah, man, that motherfucker should be fired.
Well, their days are going to be rough moving ahead. I've
Well,
said this. They're not going to. I agree with King when he said that there's not going to be another PlayStation. That's a
Mhm.
possibility. I really
Mhm.
believe so.
Mhm.
I think Sony is never going to gain the share that they had. People can dress it up however they want, but when you look at hard facts that when Microsoft is going to carry those powerhouses, and Microsoft, I've heard, well, PlayStation is so smart with the games that they pick, and they just know how. Look, Microsoft has no presence in mobile, right? But look at what they don't have any. Well, Minecraft, but that's just very little, minimum, right?
Mhm.
But what did they do? They went after the best company in mobile with King,
Yep.
and on top of that, you still have COD Mobile. You have Diablo, which did incredible. People forget these games, and they're going to have all those titles behind them. They're going to start strong. That's what Microsoft learned. If you're going to go into an area of a market for the first time and really get started, you have to start strong. That's one of the
Yeah.
lessons that they learned. And so this is why they have been strategically picking the type of publishers and titles they want to start with. And Phil said in that interview that it's the mobile we're really looking at, but it comes with a package because
Yep.
COD has a mobile division, Diablo has that,
Yeah.
and I think it might be a few other titles.
We ain't gonna ever go move forward because Dia brought up something else. Go ahead.
Okay. But yeah, I just wanted to make that clear that they are strategic in what they're doing. They see these titles, and getting Activision Blizzard gives them some powerhouses to start with.
Mhm.
And that's what they want to do. When you step out into a new market, you want to start off strong. So if you have those times where it lulls back a little bit, you can survive that and push forward.
Dia, there'll be another PlayStation. You know where it's going to be? PC.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's gonna be on a console.
I'm glad you lit that up. Shishno
Hey,
Elite, welcome. We didn't shout
hey.
Shishno out. Hey, but anyway, but back to Dia over here, spouting facts. Hey, you know something? It's like, you know, we're talking about growth here and Call of Duty is on mobile. And let's go back to Phil Spencer also in that interview before we get at Shishno Elite over here, another rebel. Um, Minecraft started out with 20 million users. And to Colin and Moriarty, Unlimited and my favorite, that jackass, we can't cultivate shit, right? You go from 20 million or 30 million users to 120 million. Welcome to the big leagues, Call of Duty. You about to blow the fuck up. Okay? That's what's gonna happen. It's gonna get cultivated.
It's gonna blow up.
Here we are. We got coming up. I just want to mention we got coming up this March, the 5th year anniversary of Sea of Thieves. I don't know how many users is on Sea of Thieves, 15 million, 20 million. I don't know. I lost count. But here is a game that should be celebrated. Here is a game that
That's
is
28
probably
billion.
thank you, is of the zinc. That's why I'm glad you're on the show.
I thought it was Diddy, Rock.
Look, Sega man, 5 years, nothing but added content, even more added content coming. Rare's biggest game ever, bigger than GoldenEye, bigger than Donkey Kong Country. Rare's biggest game ever. A game that's kept the company profitable. A game that Microsoft was behind 110%. A game that was compared
Oh,
ruthlessly.
E-Rock, I caught you on the line, man. The Kraken is lacking.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. The Kraken is lacking. Y'all got that. Y'all diabetic gameplay. Y'all got that. Or we got God of War and Spider-Man.
Yep.
2017 to 2018 was when all of the turncoats had left Xbox. And here we are, Dia, 5 years later, and Sea of Thieves is celebrating their fifth anniversary, still going strong, and no one has mentioned the first God of War or the first Spider-Man. No
Nope.
one
That's
plays it.
right.
We don't have any numbers. We don't have anything.
Mhm.
Listen. It's okay to support your brand and be a fan of something, but you just admit you lost. Just admit
Right.
you lost. You just admit you lost, man. That's all. And move on. Sea of Thieves though is owed a huge apology, but they'll never get it because these guys, they are bitter little children because
Correct.
they wanted Sony to rule the world like they did back in the 2000s and the 90s.
Mhm.
That those days are gone. Things change. It is an inevitability. I don't want to get off topic, but we are seeing a huge uh, 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 paradigm shift in entertainment where
Mhm.
Disney is no longer the top dog. Their movies are failing left and
Yeah.
right.
Yep.
They've lost 2.8. I don't know how many subscribers. Yo, man, it is just things change. Nothing stays on top forever.
Yeah.
People are shocked. Like, I can't believe that the MCU is falling apart. I can't believe that the MCU is eroding. Well, I told y'all that in 2015. It
Mhm.
was you cannot last forever on perception. And to Microsoft's credit, they took all the lumps. They took all the lumps
Yep.
perception wise and hung in there. But
Yeah.
as Hebot kept saying, they were never hurting for money. They
Ever.
were never hurting for money. They just finally decided to spend that shit in these last 4 years. They were never hurting for money. Because Hebot, he follows this shit even more than Zinc and Unlimited. He said that Xbox was the most profitable company last generation. But
Correct.
Right.
perception was that Sony won the generation
Yeah.
because they
Yeah.
had more boxes sold at brick and mortars. And the whole paradigm of that was changing with Xbox and with the advent of Game Pass. But people weren't trying to hear that, man. And
Mhm.
I tell people all the time that when you commiserate with these fanboys on Twitter, and when you follow guys like Colin Moriarty,
Mhm.
all you're going to get is lies
Mhm.
because they're caught up in emotion. They're never going to give you the damn truth. And yo, man, this right here is the Sony claiming that its AAAs are not profitable, and the Activision deal finally happening, which was inevitable. This is just proof that sometimes, man, living in your little bubble and praying ain't going to work. Sometimes you got to have a solid plan. And
Mhm.
so, guys, this is a happy day. I had no
Mhm.
idea I knew the deal was going to go through. I had no idea it was going through this fast. It would have happened sooner if not for all the Sony stalling tactics. But
Mhm.
I mean, this is just. I mean, it is what it is. I don't know what to. I really did. I really don't know what to tell them. What do you tell them at this point? These Sony fans and these single
It's
pants and
like you
these.
say. It's like you say.
I
Don't tell them shit. And but Iraq, I gotta correct you though. They didn't. It wasn't just the last 4 years, man. This has been going on for some time. Like in 2013, I think is when they bought Havoc, that
You're right. My bad.
fantastic physics engine.
Yes.
Then they bought Gears from Epic when Epic was about to die. For
Mm-hmm.
stole it actually for 375 million or something like that.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same year, 2014, they bought the juggernaut and the biggest gaming game in the history of the world,
Minecraft.
with Minecraft,
Yeah.
2.4 billion, and grew it to north of 20 billion net
Mhm.
worth. So this has been going on for a long time, even back in 1999 when they stole Bungie from Apple because Halo was on Apple first.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man, this has been going on for a few minutes now.
And I
yeah.
want to add one thing before you speak, Unlimited.
Okay.
The title here, Sony claims its AAA exclusives are not profitable. That's my Hiroshima moment. Remember when I told you guys about
Talk
that?
that
That is the
shit.
moment right there. That's the bomb. All right. That's the one that blew the crater in the hole. That's okay. So now this is reverberating through everything. This is why you see the panic. This is why you see people
Yes.
collapsing. And this is just the beginning. But I just wanted to say, this is what I've been waiting for. This is what the information I wanted to come out. This is the thing that's going to change the industry because now
Mhm.
everybody's getting to see Sony for what they really are. Okay.
Isn't that a topic as we welcome? I forgot to say, Tool Man, Google Poll jumped in here. Xbox
Oh yeah, man, the
Unlimited.
chat,
Oh
man.
yeah.
Yeah,
Apologies, chat. You know
yeah,
how it is when you got a full panel.
yeah. We running today,
Hey,
but
Yeah.
that's the
Unlimited.
topic, right?
Hey, Unlimited. Why they getting mad? They got mad at man. They got mad at Microsoft, man, about that too, and they didn't even do nothing. They didn't
We didn't
force
do
them.
shit.
They didn't even force them to come over there. They turned them down at first. You still gonna say it's Microsoft's fault?
Oh
Microsoft
yeah.
turned them down at first. You know what I'm saying, bro?
Yeah. Hey,
Why would you do
Microsoft
that?
played it. Microsoft played it so smart, Sega, man. They gave them everything in the book. They knew Sony was going to pull this
Yep.
nonsense. And I do want to introduce our brother Hebot, the world's most powerful gamer. He
All
finally
right.
made it in. Hey,
All
Hebot,
right.
how are
Right.
you?
Finally
Hi,
made it in.
Hebot.
Now we got a complete broadcast.
That's right. Hi, Hebot.
Yeah, what's
Hey,
going
what's
on?
going on? Hey,
Hey,
what's up,
Punk.
guys? What's going on?
What's
We
up,
Yeah,
over
hey,
Punk?
here, we over here knocking people out.
yeah, man. We
I
have
see that. I see that. Y'all don't need. Y'all learn from me, I guess.
yeah. Speaking of learning from you, something that you said for years was finally confirmed. And
That's
you know
right.
what? I forgot. You know what, Hebot? I love when stuff that you say years ago is confirmed. Because now what can they say? That's why one of the most poignant things Others Inc.
Yeah.
ever said is that nobody could teach you anything. And I think that this is another moment like that. And I don't know, I
Right,
know that
right.
you did an excellent video on it, but I would like to get your thoughts because about an hour before
Sure.
we did the show, it came out that the EU is about to prove the Activision deal without, no concessions or nothing. Even
Right. But you know why, though. You know why.
yeah, of course. But let me just finish give you full context, and then I'll let you speak, my friend.
Sure,
But
absolutely. Go ahead.
even after Jim Ryan flew around the world in 80 days to stop this Activision deal,
You're so stupid.
and now we got this bombshell of them finally admitting that the third party revenue was paying for the exclusive. So my friend Hebot, I need you to break it down, man. What are your thoughts on just the madness surrounding this? Another win for Xbox and another in 2023, the year that I call the year of celebration.
Right. I mean, you guys been saying that it was gonna be the year celebration since last year, like early last year, when the lines were all starting to line up correctly and things that were being placed in fruition for a while that finally were coming to fruition. In other words, right?
Yes.
And the writing was on the wall, but we kept saying it, and people were like, "Yeah, whatever." And now, listen, this is great that it came out because this just shows why Sony is so adamant, right, all the time of trying to get these exclusive deals, trying with third party. Why they're always trying to keep games off of Xbox, off of Game Pass, keeping parity, because they know that they cannot compete otherwise. And I hate to say it, whether they have the perception or not, perception doesn't make you money at the end of the day.
One second, Heba. Thank you again, Box, for the $5, my friend. And of course, as always, thank you for always supporting. And everybody, whether you donate or not, even if you just watch, comment, chill in the background, and never said a word to me, I appreciate it. All right, but go ahead and continue, Heba.
Absolutely. I remember I think I was doing a podcast. It was me 100 with the DirectX crew. It was like years ago, and I was saying, and I said Sony is very persistent because it's the third party games that gives them the money and the funds for them to continue to do all of their first party exclusives. And people are like, no, how you sound? It's like, look at how they release their first party exclusives. They'll announce them and then they'll wait a long time. And then they'll be like, oh yeah, it's ready now. When they have success with other stuff that's in the third party, or if they buy like an exclusivity, like let's say like Spider-Man, right? Spider-Man did fairly well for them, really well at the time, even though it was third party. And then you go and you see, as soon as they did that, they started to release the other stuff right after or shortly after, right? They wanted to release first party stuff.
Even though they were good for him, Spider-Man was good for him, they still had to cut Disney a check because it's
Absolutely, because it's not theirs. Absolutely. Disney owns all merchandising. As a matter of fact, you could look it up right now, Unlimited, and put it up on the screen, where Sony came out and said they regretted selling the merchandising rights back to Disney. If you type it up, you'll see it. This was public record.
Yeah,
this was years ago.
They don't have a choice,
Oh, right, absolutely. But people are like, well, why? Why are you saying that? Because video games fall under merchandise.
Correct.
Okay, bottom line. And this is why Sony has the game exclusive. No, it's not because they own it. I was like, no. Disney wants that Spider-Man character in the MCU because he's very important to the Marvel universe.
Mhm.
The only way they can do that is by having the rights of the movie, which Sony has a hold of. So
Mhm.
what do? You basically you court them, you keep them happy, you give them some champagne, you take them out for a couple of steaks and dinner, and hopefully they'll lay down in the bed with you. And that's what they did. And that's why they gave him the Spider-Man game for exclusively. Oh, it's never been put in writing. That's bullshit. It doesn't have to.
Mhm.
It doesn't take a fucking rocket science or a genius to figure things out. You put two and two together and it's going to make perfect sense. And
Yeah.
I said this in the direct text. Their games don't make them enough money. It's their third-party deals
Mhm.
that funds them, right? That funds them. See, there you go. There it is. Sony forces some merchandising rights for Spider-Man because the movie rights
Uh-huh.
be there next, right? So again,
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
said that back then on the DirectX, and we're talking about years ago now. And I remember the whole conversation. Oh, you fucking crazy! You're just toxic. You're just a hater.
You're an
It's like
Xbox
Sony makes more.
fanboy.
You a piece
Yeah,
of shit.
Sony makes more money. No, my favorite one is Sony makes more money than Xbox. I'm like, what?
Mhm.
Like, it's like, listen, dude, this has nothing to do. Like, think about it. You're not using common logic. You're not using common logic.
Mhm.
None of their games did well. That's why they closed down SOE. That's why they closed down Sony Japan. That's why they closed down the studios that did the what you call it, the racing game that had the Apocalypse that did Drive Club.
No, you're wrong, Hebot. You're fat. Stop wearing earrings.
Absolutely. Listen,
I think you're talking about Destruction All Stars or something
No,
like that.
no,
Is
he's
that-
yeah,
talking
no,
about
the ones who did Drive Club
Dog.
and the Apocalypse game, that racing game.
Motorstorm.
Yeah, the guys that did Motorstorm. Yeah,
Motorstorm.
they closed them down.
Okay.
That's why they closed down.
Hey, Bob, let's give them full top context because the PS4 was so much more powerful.
Right.
Xbox One and Drive Club only did 1080p 30. Meanwhile, Forza 5 did 1080p 60 locked out the gate.
And let's not forget, Forza not only did 1080p 60, Forza had like 700 cars. They only had like 90 cars in Drive Club.
Yeah.
Forza had Auto Vista for almost half the roster of those cars.
Get 'em.
They also had about 23 tracks, and the game,
on track.
had like 12 to 15 cars on track, and then later on with 7 they upped it up to like 23. Right.
Mhm.
Absolutely. And all those things, was the reason why the game looked.
In on this too, Hebot. Let's get E-Rock in on here because he said the weather was awesome. Tell E-Rock that was an overlay and that weather had zero effect on the car.
Why you jumping
Right.
on me? Why you jumping
Yeah.
on me? That's why that game failed because their whole budget went into the rain instead of the cars and everything else.
No, what they did was that's called is the weathering was baked in on certain areas of the level.
Mhm.
So it would look like give you the illusion that's in real time, but it wasn't
And they
real time.
added it later on, months later after the game was out.
Yeah, it didn't even have destructions. Remember, the
Yep.
cars didn't even have destruction. You couldn't when you crashed them. They had no destruction.
Hey,
They would scratch, but they wouldn't. They
Still
wouldn't.
can't crash.
Hey,
Right,
Hey,
right.
Grid looks better than Gran Turismo. And
Hey,
it has
Sega Man, you hear E-Rock? Gran Turismo 7 has horrible destruction today. They have that Mario Kart physics over there on that piece of
Right.
Yeah, they do.
22.
Look, isn't it funny, right? How now they're saying that it looks like they're gonna go through with the deal, right? Finally, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just a day after the FTC, I think it was, forced Sony to give them all the documents since 2019 about every single deal they have made. They know that's going to give away all their dirt. So they're gonna exceed. They're gonna exceed. They're gonna be like, you know what? We recede. You win. We're not doing nothing because they're not. I don't want to put the dirt out. That's what it is, and that is why you're seeing now that they're saying, oh yeah, it's gonna go through because you don't want your dirt out. You have no choice. And Microsoft did it smart. They knew they had to push them to that point where they're not going to want to open their mouth and show this stuff because then that's going to make them look even worse.
Yes.
You know, and I just kept saying, if they don't let this deal go through or keep intervening, you know, and we all know it's impossible because we're talking about $70 billion with a B. We're not talking about chump change. It's impossible that they're going to stop it. But just by the off chance that they did, all they're doing is they burn their bridges with all these other studios, and a lot of people open their eyes and see how they play their game. No one's going to want to keep doing business with them. They just not. That's why they keep doing business with Square Enix. They're the only ones because the Japanese like them.
Yep.
They're the only ones.
Yep.
And Capcom.
We got to give them his credit. That's what 100 always said. Hey, they just getting Japanese handouts.
Yeah. Well, there's always been Japanese handouts. That term came from us in DirectX with J-Long. They called them Japanese handouts because they're basically giving them the Japanese games for free. They have no say in it. They have no funding. They pay for none of the marketing. They just say, okay, because you're a Japanese console, we're going to put it on your platform because your console is what appeals to the Japanese market. That's what we mean by Japanese handouts.
Hey, Hebot
used to appeal to the Japanese market.
Yeah.
Good point. Good way to catch them in a lie. Yep.
Yeah, he bought that Japanese buyers work so much. Forspoken Studios shut down now.
Oh, wow! Just won't stop. Hey, good.
You know what that is? That's just them. That's just a way for them to make sure that they don't have to bring it to Xbox. That's all that is.
And you know
Square
what?
Enix going to take their losses.
Since Unlimited just threw that rock over there, we might as well mention this Shitsno Elite here, and you know it still goes on. Gran Turismo 7 still they don't have any damage shown, and they don't, dude.
Yeah,
I mean they haven't improved on nothing. Dude, you could run into a wall of tires and nothing happens. You run into a wall of tires and Forza, tires bouncing everywhere. You know?
Damn, man.
That's because they don't understand that Turn 10 uses the cloud-based system to do a lot of things in a game.
That's what we were
to
talking
be able to
about.
achieve it, and they don't understand that.
Nope.
Hey, Unlimited, I'm sending you some stuff right now. I just found out.
All right, yes, send it my way, man.
Breaking news.
That's what I was gonna say about Shitsno Elite. You know, they haven't talked about all of this. They haven't done all of this tech yet, and you hear people trying to say that games look better on the PS5. Dude,
sorry.
These are lazy ass developers. The Series S is full RDNA 2. When these jokers come over to next gen and start developing games, then you'll see the difference. But Forza Motorsport is going to kill all this.
Wait! I caught you in a lie, other Zinc. Finally, now I'm gonna get you. Now I'm gonna get you.
Get him.
Casanova Yamuchi over there at what's the studio he bought?
Which one you talking about?
Polyphony Digital.
Yeah, Polyphony Digital. It's not that Cass is lazy. It's that as Sony tried to say, he's a frustrated film producer. He is behind. He is decades behind the times. While Forza was building a real damage model and exploiting the cloud, he was worried about paint on cars and different angles of his replays and picking out just the right selection of jazz music for the selection menu. He wasn't trying to get caught up with the technology. So all these other games like Grid, Sega Man's Grid, and hell, even Project Cars surpassed Gran Turismo. But I mean, guys, look, there are L's. You suffer L's in life. There are L's. But this month for PlayStation has been a super, mega, ultra horrendous L. First of all, Forspoken runs slam right into Hi-Fi Rush. Hi-Fi Rush stomps a mud hole in his ass. Then with Legacy comes and stomps a mud hole into Forspoken to finish off they rotted corpse. But now the Forspoken studio has closed down, and I caught you in a lie too. I'm gonna get you. There wasn't nobody over here wanting Forspoken. Hey, Sega Man, did you want Forspoken? Hell no. Did you want Forspoken? Hell no. Nobody wanted Forspoken with that lame ass damn dialogue. Oh, I'm in another world, I guess. I hate it here, but I guess if I like that brazier, it'll show me the way. There wasn't nobody looking forward to
I
that crap.
wanted to play Forspoken.
Hey, well, hey, man. Well, you know what?
I put you in another lie. No, you didn't.
He about would have cleared it out of spite. That's what he about would have did.
Hey, Unlimited, is Tuck still here?
Yeah, Tuck's
Yeah, I'm
still here.
y'all.
Hey, Tuck, listen, I know you're sending brother Unlimited that information, but don't send him the one information because I didn't get it to go through yet. The chitlin salad dressing. I'm still talking to Uncle Robinson. He's going to help us out. Don't send him nothing about your chitlin salad dressing.
He's trying to cut your throat, Sega Man. He's trying to cut your throat.
You know what? Let me tell you right now. Hey, this was spoken thing, the studio thing. Hey, I was gonna send the doggone link yesterday off of Instagram and all that stuff. But you know what, fellas? Hey, I was over there trying to send it. Hey, they took the damn thing down.
They took it down.
Well,
They
what they did.
They took the post down.
Well, Tuck, that's because nobody uses America Online anymore, bro. You gotta update. You gotta update your shit. Tuck be sending his shit through America Online.
Hey,
Tuck be sending.
Tuck, you got mail.
You got mail.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna send E-Rock the link, Sega Man, and the link never come. He sent me a link from a podcast we did back in August 2020.
But what they did do, they merged that Forspoken studio back into Square Enix.
Yes.
Of course, they'll
They
delete,
basically shut down Luminous Productions
but
or Luminous Studios and put them into another division because it didn't make no money.
now
He
don't
about what is one of them bangers they was telling us was going to destroy Xbox?
it is.
Oh my
Man.
God, yes.
Yes,
That reminded me. I'm gonna put something on screen that I also found hilarious.
There we go. You start him up.
Unlimited don't
Started
make
his ass up. There you go. It's your fault. You did it.
yeah.
Get him, Unlimited. Get the whole panel.
Hey,
Like y'all got me 4 weeks ago. Get him.
One thing I will
please,
like.
God, let me still pass
One
it.
thing I like to do is revel in the demise of Sony fanatics, especially when they praise something that doesn't do as good as they think it's going to do.
Mm-hmm.
But a couple of I trust the chat. I represent the chat. So the Shishno Elite actually said it's a pretty good game, and every game isn't for everyone. So I'll take them to the word. But I still, my hatred is towards the Sony fanatics that said how much this game was going to be better than Starfield, and I'm like, yeah, right. Oh, okay. No.
And
Look,
a little
leave-
unannounced shadow drop destroyed it. I mean,
leave it for me to ever dispute Unlimited Productions chat. I love the chat. I love my chat. I love Sega Man's chat. But if it was a pretty good game, people will be talking about it like they're talking about Hi-Fi Rush. Hi-Fi Rush broke them. People will be talking about it like they're talking about Hogwarts Legacy.
Mhm.
Like if a game is good, people will be talking about it, not hyping it up, not using perception and hyperbole. They'll be talking about it, right? Like all I heard about this game is what a disaster it is. Because listen, Dia, there's only for so many times you could do these over the shoulder,
Behind the back.
fetch
Single
quest,
player story.
and MCU dialogue, or in the case of God of War, horrible dialogue. I'm still laughing at the fact that voice actor for God of War won best voice acting. Like, are you for real? Like, that voice acting has become a goddamn meme. Boy, how do we get across this lake? Well, if you like that brazier, maybe this door open. Thanks, boy. Like, what the fuck?
That's bad.
But yet the voice acting in A Plague's Tale Requiem got nothing. Like that game was fucking heartbreaking. That game was heartbreaking.
It destroyed me when I beat that game. It destroyed me.
Hold on, I got to give Dia a slow clap. Hold on.
Yeah, it was so.
Did you? Dia, I don't want to get off topic. I never imagined that a studio would have the balls to let a game end like that. And it wasn't done for shock value, like when Naughty Dog killed off Joel in The Last of Us 2. the only father
Oh,
figure
that's
that
the
girl
beginning of
had.
the movie also. Beginning of the game movie also. E-Rock, they killed that dude off.
Are they
Oh
up for
wow,
something on the? Are they up for something on the Dice Awards?
who?
I think I was seeing on the Xbox where you can buy these games, and I think that it said something about the Dice Awards or something like that.
Well, if there's a nice award, they should be because A Plague Tale
Yeah.
Innocence was just
It
a
was.
Requiem was a masterpiece. Yeah. Like they had kind of leaked what was going to happen, but I didn't think the developer
didn't.
had the balls to go through with this
I
shit.
didn't think they were bold enough and to do that and then tell a lot of people. They said, "Well, it's going to be a 3 and all that," and they said, "No, we have no intention." So to leave it
Oh,
like
I
that,
love it. I
I
love it.
couldn't believe it. I
Yeah,
could not
yeah,
believe it. I was
yeah.
like, "Wow."
Dare you?
It
Oh,
it it it, it cements this something that me and Unlimited Production are on the same page with Entertainment Dear, that it's okay for some shit to end.
That's right.
It's
Well,
Yeah.
okay.
sometimes, E-Rock, to add to that what that statement you just made, sometimes when you leave stuff like the way that it has that impact, like you keep saying, I didn't
Yeah.
believe they had the goals to do it.
Mhm.
That's what you want. That's
Yeah.
what makes things memorable.
Yes,
That's
sir.
what makes things, timeless.
Yes, sir.
Because you like it, kind of like you guys ever watch the movie To Live and Die in L.A.?
Yeah.
Nigga, stop,
Yeah,
stop, stop,
Okay,
stop,
okay.
stop, stop,
Nobody,
stop.
you know what I'm talking about, right? You know what I'm alluding to, right?
What the fuck do y'all know about To Live and Die in LA? That's
I
my
know
shit.
shit. That's my
That's a good
shit
ass
too.
movie.
But
That's,
that
yo,
movie,
yo,
did-
that boy Chance was so hell bent to bring in Rick
Yeah,
Masters.
yeah.
He said, "Fuck it."
Yeah.
What?
That movie did something that no one in a million years would have thought because
Preach.
it's unethical, right? Especially that it has to do with the main character.
You never kill the protagonist, but they said, "Fuck it, we going there."
You know? And that's exactly, but because of that, that's why that movie to this day is talked about. It's timeless. So
This part-
sometimes
Yeah.
it's better to leave things alone because of the shock value. You get what
And
I
he
mean?
it even ends cold. The boy, his partner, goes to the chick's house and be like, "Come on,
Yes.
don't sign me on. You're working for me now." I'm like, "What the hell?"
Yeah.
Yo, man, To
Wow.
live in, I'm sorry we got off a topic, but
Fantastic
To Live
movie.
and Die
It
in
was just
LA
an example. Yeah.
is one of the best movies of the '80s that nobody knows about. The
Last-
Even
music
talks
was
about
dope.
right.
Last-
William Dafoe, when he was young, he played a sadistic character. Yo, man, that
Yes.
movie is dope. But yeah, I agree with you. Like the Dark Knight trilogy, it came to an end.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
director of that shit, whatever his name was, Christopher Nolan, he
Christopher
said,
Nolan. Yeah.
I made my 3 Batman movies and I'm out. And it's over.
Yeah,
He retired. He's done. I love that, man. I love it when shit come to an end, man.
I think it's more that's more ballsy and it's more when you have to take that risk and then just go with it. You know what I mean?
Hey, no,
I-
Unlimited. Leave that up there. Gogo Poe at 7:16 p.m. Did you see all the bad Destiny Lightfall reviews from fans? Did Sony ruin Bungie?
Oh God!
Oh,
There was a dude
Gogo
talking
Paul
to me
is
about
going
that
there.
today.
Where's the backlash? Goddamn it!
Sony is the living embedment of when it rains, it pours. Because how much bad news can this
Leave him
company
alone,
get?
Unlimited. Be nice. Be nice.
Nah, I ain't being nice.
Hey man, y'all wonder why I say this is why I represent the chat. These motherfuckers are some dogs, dude. I'm telling you, they come up with shit all of the time, dude.
They like to bark and bark loud. Let me tell you.
These jokers ain't playing.
We love it. I'm loving every minute of this, man. I don't know what's going on. Then I wake up and find out the ceiling that crashed in on Sony. I love it.
Oh shit!
E-Rock, man, the show that we could just come together like this and all just laugh and have fun. Nothing beats that. Over there, they got to make these seriously depressing podcasts. Like it's a funeral march. I got bad news, guys. They breaking news like CNN report. Breaking news. The EU is approving the Activision deal.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have bad news. Hold on to your seats, grab your families. The Forspoken studio is closed. We don't know if they'll make another game again.
They don't give a damn about that. They too focused on Starfield exclusivity and the Activision deal.
Oh my gosh! If
They
I hear
don't
that
give a damn
again,
about Forspoken Studio
if
being
I hear
closed.
that again, I'm gonna hang
Nintendo
myself.
should
I'm
buy
so sick of
Forspoken
that.
Studios.
Hey, Tia, why you gonna
Hey,
hate
thank you
yourself?
too, man.
I'm so sick of that title. They're never getting that title. They're never getting Starfield. How many ways should I put it in Braille? I'm so sick of them asking for this. Oh my gosh. It's like they don't understand simple English. What the heck?
What you putting it in Braille?
Oh my gosh.
Yo, Phil even had to clarify on that interview he did with Homegirl on the Xbox
Yeah.
YouTube channel. He even
Right.
and I watched it there, and I'm like, how many times does this man need to clarify this game's exclusive?
And the funny thing is, they still try to act like, oh, see, he's just being deceptive.
Yes.
He's not really being clear.
Yes.
I'm like,
Phil,
what?
Phil has for years, since damn near since he's been head of Xbox for almost a decade now. He bought, and every single time he says something, I swear, you think these people don't know what Google is because they act like he's a liar. Then I pull it up on Google, and no, it's exactly what he said.
Yeah.
Exactly what he said. You know, it's crazy. Hey, what's up, 100? 100 is a piece
Hey,
of
what's
shit.
up,
Oh, hey,
100?
100.
Oh, 100 is a piece of shit. He make me sick. He was over here bad mouthing me because I like NASCAR. He was like, "Hey, bro, we don't watch that shit." Oh shit.
Oh,
Yeah, man. We had some good ones though. But anyway, Dia said something that was very, very critical. That's right. I think of it later. Go ahead with the show, man. Hey, Unlimited.
Yeah. Hey,
Hey,
what's up?
what are your thoughts?
Oh, my thoughts. Yeah, man. Hey, my thoughts are pretty much. Look, man. Once again, the year of celebration continues. Sony I don't know how Sony keeps having this so much bad news, and their fans are in a level of denial I can't process. Zinc, because I kid you not, Zinc. I saw somebody say they posted a link like this that said the Forspoken studio shutting down and said, how do you know this means the game failed? And it's like, dude, what? I kid you not, Sega man. I
He
kid
is
you
not bullshit.
He said, how do you know this game failed?
Wow.
And that level of denial when it comes to
Man, they're beyond denial, Unlimited. Damn.
I have
Yeah,
never
I mean, so
seen
wait a minute.
anything like this in my. We talked about this Unlimited and I for 3 years. We have never, and even Hebot and I have been following this for more than almost 25 years now. We have never seen anything like this. Not like this. We've seen Jim Jones's cult. We've seen the Heaven's Gate cult, but we ain't never seen anything. Man, we've even seen the Mormons and the Amish, but we have never seen anything like this. No matter what news these guys get that Sony is failing and in decline, they will find a way to spin it into a win. This is some deep brainwashing. Sony, I gotta give it. Sony, listen, Sony. You know how you know you the shit. You the shit when Al Qaeda calls you and asks, "Teach us how you brainwash these people."
Man, they are in deep. They're in a level. Listen, like I said, that's a level of denial I can't even process because they see the objective proof in their face and they just flat out deny it. And I don't know how that's possible, but they do it, and I don't mind it because it's entertainment for me.
Hey, let me get back to you after I say this to you, Unlimited.
Yeah, go
like
ahead.
you said, we're here having a good time laughing, and then the Sony podcasts are over there talking about us
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, exactly.
because they have no games. Back to you.
What else is there to talk about?
I don't know.
Spider-Man ain't coming until what, November? What else is there's nothing else to talk about. There's no news, there's nothing happening. I mean, there's no moves being made. People are talking about Disney's destruction. People are talking about the moves going on over at Warner Brothers and Netflix. Ain't nobody talking about 20th Century Fox. Ain't nobody that Sony is now Fox, just waiting for somebody to buy them out. That's their only hope now, is that somebody feels bad enough for that company to buy them out. They're a company in decline. Somebody might buy them. Apple might buy them. Somebody might throw them a bone, but they'll never, ever be the same again. They'll never, ever be. I don't think Apple even knows how to. Maybe Apple could save them. I don't know how you save that company. I wouldn't even know where to begin because they haven't made what other Zinc always talks about so eloquently. they haven't made any investments to keep recurring income coming in. So
Right.
how do you even begin to rescue them?
Yeah, well, my thing is, don't don't rescue them if that's the case.
That's what he right.
If you don't listen, if somebody looks at Sony and they don't think that they could turn it around in any shape or form, then let it go to pasture, right? No Sony fan gave a damn when Sega got out the console market.
None.
Correct.
None.
No Sony fan.
Well, that's because most of those Sony fans weren't video games fans from the very beginning. Those were casuals. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's the reason.
Any investor with half a brain, like let's just say in an imaginary alternate universe that was created by accident by fucking Ezra Miller, that Microsoft Xbox was up for sale, right? Like, yo, if I had trillions of fucking dollars, that's a very sexy investment. Minecraft, Halo, Gears of War, fucking Bethesda, Elder Scrolls, Activision. God damn, that company is sexy as shit now. Jesus Christ. Sony? What do y'all have? Y'all, well, we have a timed exclusivity deal with the Spider-Man games. Like, what the fuck can I do with that?
Frog snacks.
Hey, we got that too. We got that too. What you talking about?
Sega Man is not going to let up off of them on Bug Snacks, man. He on that.
Bug Snacks is the truth. Hey, E-Rock, you know what's funny? 2 days. Well, you know this Unlimited too. Like 2 days ago, like 3 days ago or something, I saw something. So I saw a couple articles where they were like, "Yeah, it's looking like if the deal doesn't go through, Microsoft's gonna have to sell off their division."
Yeah.
And that's another thing, Phil. I believe Phil said that in the interview that they ain't selling Xbox or something, or something along like Xbox going to be around for a long time.
He said we'll just continue.
Yeah, they listen again, Hebot. I never seen a company that's such a failure, but people have so much faith in these guys. Like Sony is literally saying stuff like our exclusive don't make money. We need Call of Duty. What else did they tell the Brazilian government, Zinc, that I'm forgetting off the top of my head here?
That it'll take us forever to create
That's right.
Like Game Pass.
That's right. They also said they can't make a Call of Duty competitor. They can't make multiplayer games. Sony has told you everything they can't do, and yet all we ever see in return are articles like this: Baldur's Gate 3 could be bigger than Starfield. Sony reported to buy Take-Two as a response to them getting Activision. Like, guys, what? My question, I'm dying to know when they see these articles, what the fuck do they read? It's only possible you could read stuff like this, Zinc, and your conclusion is, damn, Sony got a lot of money.
The only things Unlimited didn't do when he said that they could be Baldur's Gate could be bigger is E-Rock, Dia, and Hebot is say, and Sega Man say dun dun dun.
And let me ask you this, fellas. Y'all seen that new DualSense controller that they're gonna be making with LeBron?
Yes, sir.
I don't give a fuck about that, man. That ain't nothing compared to our controller.
Y'all see that shit?
Which is odd because LeBron plays on Xbox.
Right.
I don't know if y'all know this, but whenever he plays 2K, it's on Xbox. So I don't even know why Sony even contacted them to. Again, that's Sony wasted money again. A guy who even play their console, they can use as a marketing scheme for what? To sell some.
They're trying to coerce him not to play Xbox no more. That's all that is.
And has it worked? Because last I checked, is Sony the $600 billion company, E-Rock?
Nope.
Yeah, because the way people talk about Sony, Hebot, you think that they're the ones that's run by the $1 trillion company, right? And you think that Sony, you think that Sony are the ones that owns Bethesda, the way they talk, but they're so pathetic that they got to settle with a Baldur's Gate 3.
That was our argument all last generation. Me and Zinc, I heard Zinc a couple of times say that in Hundreds podcast, where he knows that I made this statement long ago because even E-Rock could attest to that as well. Last generation, the perception was won by Sony, but the money, the revenue, hands down, it was all Microsoft. Everything.
Yeah.
Hands down.
And now, as a result, and I hear Zinc about to speak, but if you don't mind, Zinc, let me see this point real quick. Microsoft now, because they're so forward thinking, have 70% of the subscription market. Hebot 70%. You know how hard it is to catch up to that.
Right.
It's not going to happen.
It's impossible.
Right.
Yeah, basically. As a result, they dominate in cloud gaming. That was one of the big talking points that Jim Ryan tried to fight.
In the interview too.
Yeah, right. So my point is, Hebot, Zinc, and E-Rock, and the rest of the panel, Microsoft clearly. When people say stuff like Sony knows how to pick exclusives, no, Microsoft knows how to spend their money wisely, right? Because what's better? What's the best way to make money is to buy something that you know is going to make you money. You know, they're the little definition of that phrase. You got to spend money to make money. Because they're dropping $70 billion on this Activision deal. Guess what? Guess what Call of Duty is going to do, Daya? That Call of Duty on PlayStation, that's going to pay for the next Xbox exclusive. That's going to pay for the next Xbox engine. That's going to pay for the next.
Exactly.
That's going to fund. Yeah, that's going to fund Xbox next studio they purchase.
Exactly.
So that's why I'm not. That's why it's not a gotcha moment when you're like, oh, but we're going to get Call of Duty anyway. Good. Good.
Help Microsoft to fund the next acquisition. Thank you. You know,
because I saw what Halo money paid for. I saw what Minecraft money paid for.
Right.
I saw what Gears money paid for. So now we've got the biggest first-person shooter. That's the best-selling game 15 years in a row. Oh my God, it's even going to somehow get better, and I didn't think that was possible. So Zink, you asked what my thoughts were. That was my thoughts.
Last week, real quick,
you guys, go ahead, Hebot.
No, just real quick, because I'm gonna be brief. Last week, what did we say, Zink, with Sega Man in the alpha? We said Microsoft's moves and propositions, right, are all long term.
All
of Sony's
short terms moves,
right. And all of Sony's moves or propositions are all short term. We said that last week.
You know what Sony is, Hebot? Sony's the guy who goes to cash advance to loan money to pay for his light bill, while Microsoft are the guys who invested in their 401k for decades and now going to retire happy.
Yep. Right. And you know what? I don't know where you go on Unlimited, especially with time constraints here, but it's a couple questions were given throughout the week, and one was the deflect, and another one was where would I think our boy said this, Colin. Where would Microsoft be without Bethesda? What games would they have? And here they have $2 billion franchise launching in Minecraft, and Forza coming later. Okay, without Spider-Man, without Insomniac making Spider-Man that they bought. And then the last one,
Zink, can I answer your question?
Go ahead.
First of all, as we could see, even with Spider-Man, Sony ain't doing nothing. How do I know? Their AAA exclusives don't make money.
Yeah.
So even with what are you with God of War? Clearly nothing. What are you with Spider-Man? Clearly nothing. Their future, Zink, is tied to a third-party game they're about to lose.
A fanboy wrote that article. That came out of Jim Ryan's mouth. The guy that y'all want to give a raise to. What is it, guys? You have to pick a fucking narrative to run with, because we can't keep up with all these narratives. That's why I stopped. I don't commiserate with these Sony fans. I don't talk with them. I don't have conversations with them. I am so blissfully ignorant and glad to be free of their fucking lunacy, because this is a sinking ship, and I'm enjoying every second of this, man. Like Megatron to Optimus Prime. I would have waited an eternity for this. I mean, he got blown to bits shortly afterwards, but I would have waited an eternity to see Sony in this position, squirming, crying, because they were such bullies, right? You were there. They were such fucking bullies.
Right. They deserve it. To be honest, they deserve everything they're getting, because that's exactly the bullshit they pulled coming in, but they did it distastefully. They did it like, we don't give a fuck. If you don't like it, too fucking bad. They're not doing like Microsoft's doing that. They're trying to be cordial. They're trying to be fair with everybody. They're trying to be respectful, not only to the gamers, but to the gaming industry and as a whole.
Yeah, and not only that, Hebot, they cultivated the worst fan base I've ever
Yes,
experienced.
that's what I was going to get to, and they created like the cesspool of cancer that is their fan base.
Yeah, and they
Because
never
that's
arrested them either.
You
Hey,
know what? Hey, fellas, I'm gonna add this to the bulliness, okay? Now, what people don't know is that before Starfield and before Microsoft bought Starfield and everything,
yeah.
I think Sony was trying to do an exclusive deal to get StarCraft to their system.
Get him,
That is
Tuck. Get him,
true.
Tuck.
They
Get him,
was trying
Tuck.
to do that. So what did
Tuck,
Xbox do?
Tuck,
Xbox
Tuck,
said,
put him in a lie.
hell no. You can go buy the whole damn company. Just let them know. I mean, they bullies, man. Ain't no but big old thug bullies.
Yeah,
And that's all there will be is thug bullies. And I'd be so glad when they go down the ship.
yeah,
So glad.
hey man, you're absolutely right, Tuck. And Vodka here said Colin Moriarty said Starfield and Redfall aren't Microsoft games. And to that I say, so if you buy a used car, is the original owner the only one who still owns it? Is that their car? Right?
That's just sour grapes coming from Colin Moriarty, a known
Exactly.
Sony PlayStation fan who said he never owned an Xbox, but he knows everything about Xbox.
Right.
Colin Moriarty, that's just sour grapes. You lost, dude. Accept your loss. Is Spider-Man a fucking a Sony game? According to Heatbot, that was developed with an engine that came from one of our games.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, so is Final
Possible.
Fantasy a Sony game?
It's
Colin
right.
Moriarty, shut your ass up. That's
Right.
why you never have people like us on your little podcast, because you will be fucking exposed with your bullshit. You just take y'all. Look, I don't have no respect for them, man. Just take y'all L. Us Eagles fans, we took our L. Ain't you disappointed that the Eagles lost the Super Bowl? Hey, that's their fault. They threw away the game during the first half. What would them be upset for? They got their ass kicked by the Chiefs. Oh, yo, man, congratulations. Accept your L and keep it moving.
hey,
Hey,
Steve.
Phil was a dog about it too, because he even mentioned Phil Spencer's a dog too, because he even mentioned, I think, that even if they didn't buy Activision, they'd be all right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
That
right.
shit was
Of course
funny.
they
would.
I was
Right.
like, damn, Phil.
Of course they would. He bought the only people that would ever believe otherwise are Sony fans who live in a different universe.
Right. But I'm saying it because it's funny, because that pisses off the ponies. When he said that, they got mad.
It was hilarious. Hey, I want to throw this in here and get Dia in here before I get cussed out tomorrow, because Dia's biggest fan is really here to hear her ramble. Hey, but anyway, and back to Bethesda. If it weren't for Bethesda, we wouldn't have anything. I think it came from a lot of people. And then here's a deflection, and then I want Dia to jump in here, because this was part of Unlimited show here. One of the questions, but this is a new one. Destin deflected that whole article we were going to talk about of how Sony needs Call of Duty to invest in their other single player games, or they'll be able to make big games.
Get them, Zink.
And Dia, jump on some of that shit and
Get him, Dia. Get him.
this bullshit.
Get him.
Well,
Like only a woman can. Get him.
okay, the reason why this is devastating news is because it's buried into their operations. Without this, they can't make those big AAA games. Where they're going to pull that from? They're not going to do it from Square Enix. They're collapsing. Okay. How many other companies can provide any income on that scale? And Square couldn't even do it. So, and here's the reason why Call of Duty is not going to do that. It's going to be in too many places. When you spread it out that thin and people don't have to leave the console of their choice, they're not going to flock to a PlayStation. Why? Okay, let's look at PlayStation as a whole. They got terrible customer service. They have the higher console. In my opinion, the lesser machine is weaker.
Correct. Third party deals.
Yeah, right. And most people say, even if they're on Sony, if they're on the PlayStation, that they use an Xbox to play their third party. So they're not going to go. I mean, most of them say that. I've seen a lot of them say that. Okay,
that's a good point.
Now, I don't know how they're making so much on third parties, because a lot of people say they got like a S to play the third parties from Xbox. I don't know why. They don't tell me why. They just say they do it. So if that's the case, they don't need PlayStation for the third parties. Right. They only are there for the AAAs. So let's put everything together. If they don't have Call of Duty's income coming in, they don't have the discount that we found out that they have. They can't put exclusive stuff on there. So Microsoft is not going to go along with that. They can't stop Microsoft from putting it into Game Pass. So let's connect all the dots here. What do you guys think is going to happen to Sony with that? People are going to either migrate to Game Pass or they're going to stay where they are because they're more comfortable.
Just assassinated them.
Okay, so this is going to collapse. So that's why I said that was my Hiroshima moment. This is devastating. They are trying to protect their ability to make triple A's. It's collapsing. It's gone.
And dear, everything you said makes sense because why else would Jim Ryan fly out to the Pitcairn Islands?
Exactly.
Why else would he fly? What was it that Unlimited said?
Around the world in 80 days.
Unlimited, that nigga turned into Phineas Fogg.
Hey, what Dia said, I said that a long time
ago. Jim Ryan was filming a movie and shit.
And he was in Moscow on the Hudson.
Just saying the truth, fellas. I mean, I said a long time ago for Doug himself. I mean, even on that he about said a long time, but I said it too. I mean, that's Sony's making their money. I mean, that's a 17% of their market.
That's devastating to them.
That's a lot of money that they lose. So when you migrate over there to the Xbox
platform or anything.
Take your time, Doug. Take your time.
No, we don't got time like that.
And as soon as they lose it, that's gonna be all she wrote. So
that's right. And talk. I never understood. Like you and Unlimited and others said it so eloquently when he joined our crew. I never understood what Phil was doing. Like, damn, man, why don't you spend money on some marketing deals? Or why don't you lock down Call of Duty and some kind of exclusivity deal? And Phil came in, and the status quo was, we're not spending any more money on nothing we don't own. Period.
Death by 1,000 cuts. I think Phil knew what he was doing, and I've said along he is getting rid of everything that has held Xbox back from the media and from Sony, but he's done it in a clever way that's around the back door, and you don't see it coming.
And he gained weight. Damn, he was making money.
and you know what this also does.
Phil looking healthy.
And you know what this also does. Now remember, a month ago, Sony said God of War sold what? He bought 11 million copies.
11 million copies.
Now we know that's irrelevant.
Pack in. I saw a PlayStation 5 today with God of War still in it. Hey, but Dia. Hey, I can't say I caught her in a lie. I just caught Dia forgetting. She said the greatest thing in the chat months ago when she said, it's like a tidal wave. You don't see it coming until it's in your face. It's
tidal wave. This is a tsunami. This is that. I knew Sony was in trouble, but I never even imagined that they would be so transparent about the trouble. God damn.
Yeah.
They're pretty transparent, E-Rob, because they want people to feel sorry for them, like the CMA. That's all they're doing. That's their role in this. That's all they're doing.
Which is so weird, so weird, Hebot, because Sony, on one hand, they'll say, oh, we sold 30 million PlayStation 5s. God of War sold 11 million copies. Hey, guys, we can't survive without Call of Duty. You know what I'm saying?
I'll answer that question real quick.
Something doesn't add up.
I'll answer that question, Unlimited. Sony was the one that got caught about the numbers for their moves, how much they sold. Sony was the one that got caught on their PSP, how many they sold. Sony was the one that got caught on a lie on how many units they sold lifetime.
Yep.
That's why they don't care. They've done it before.
So Sony is such liars. They released a $500 million special edition console when they only sold like 400 million.
Yeah, exactly.
At the time, it was so weird because it's like Sony. We know your numbers are out there. We know you didn't sell 500 million consoles,
right?
But that doesn't stop them.
Which made my purchase of their controller irrelevant. Fucking bums.
Yeah, exactly. And so we're gonna move on to our final topic of the night. And I think it's time to accept something about Game Pass, and that is the new status quo. Hi-Fi Rush recently had 2 million players since release. Atomic Heart is 2023's most popular launch on Xbox so far, which I remind you came out day one on Game Pass. We saw that Deathloop had 5 million players. Again, remember when that game was on PlayStation 4, we never heard a smidge about its numbers until it hit Game Pass. And then we found out Forza Horizon 5 surpasses 28 million players. All this within the last week or so, right?
Wow.
So while it rains and pours for Sony, it's the complete opposite. It's a complete party over here on Xbox. And at some point, and I'm gonna start with you, Sega Man. Sega Man, you there?
I'm here, brother.
Yeah, I'm gonna start with you, Sega Man. Is the success of Game Pass the new status quo in gaming, or how many times does a game need to be successful, Sega Man, before we just accept this is the new reality? This is the new measurement of success. This is the new measuring stick. This is the Patrick Mahomes. While the old ways of sales was the Tom Brady of video game success, the Patrick Mahomes version is engagement, like we see here. I'd like to get your thoughts on all the massive success of every game on Game Pass just having success in millions of
subscribers,
players. Yeah,
man. I'll tell you what it is, man. We're eating good over here.
Oh,
We're eating good over here.
I love it. I love it.
I've been saying that since Game Pass been out. I've been touting and shouting and preaching Ultimate Game Pass. Obviously, most of the time that it's been out, it's killing the competition, and they know it. Sony said themselves they can't even catch up to Game Pass. They can't. They came too late in the game, bruh. It came way too late in the game. That Spartacus ain't doing nothing. Nothing to Ultimate Game Pass, or even just Game Pass. It's not doing nothing. No kind of numbers or nothing. Hey, what did our brother say that we used to listen to all the time? What did he say? He said, men lie, women lie, numbers don't lie. And you see that in our games, just like you showed Brother Unlimited with Forza Horizon. You know what I mean? It's a done deal. Look at that, man. Look at that sweet 28 million players, man. Is there any game that Sony has that has 28 million players right now, guys?
Actively, right? Actively. That's the key word. Actively.
Yeah. Is there any game they have over there that even comes close to that?
None. And while you're talking about Forza Horizon, what's it, March 29th? They're coming out with new DLC.
Oh man!
And that drop is going to be so hardcore, it's not even going to be on the last gen console.
Oh, good.
Meanwhile, Tuckmaster's favorite game, Gran Turismo 7, has this small ass drop with one map where it has reverse things and
Chuck, they just put you on blast.
You about to get cussed out because you know I don't like nothing that Sony got. Okay? You about to get cussed out.
Chuck, stop lying. You got exposed.
Hey, but I want to say something before we get to before we get to the last topic anyway. I don't even hear nobody talking about that damn VR shit that they got out. They're not even talking about that.
Yeah, that's
so
over. That's over.
They knew that wasn't going anywhere. They was prepared.
They
was trying to prepare themselves for that.
Shit, deal.
It isn't going anywhere. But Unlimited, brother. Hey, all I gotta say, brother, is I'm very. I think we should give honestly ourselves a round of applause because we have never ever turncoated ever. We've been through it since 2013. We've been through all the bullshit. Everybody on here. We've been through all the bullshit, all the memes, all the stuff that they said about it. Hey, Porter Rock. Unlimited is sharing his screen now. Okay. Now we're sharing our screen. So I mean, there is nothing that dude or anybody else can say right now about Xbox, man. Xbox is where it's at. I'm sorry, it's just the truth, man. Yes, I mean, there's people out there that are true Sony fans, and if I was a true Sony fans, guys on here, everybody on the panel, I would be like really trying to get a hold of Sony and say, Jim, what the fuck are you doing, man?
Correct. Yeah.
I spent all this money on a PS5. I invested in PlayStation games. What the hell are you doing, man?
Right.
Right, and let me jump in here because E-Rock is gonna cuss us out because he don't want Sony to get better, but me and Sega man want Sony to do better. Hey, where's NASCAR at on Gran Turismo 7? That shit ain't even there. You missing one of the most historic tracks in racing history around the world in the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. That shit ain't there. But yet these bitches want to complain about biomes in Halo Infinite when they don't understand the motherfucking story. Okay? And
Yeah.
not gonna call for that right now because of the story that they're talking about.
And then that next drop that they got, oh my
Oh
gosh,
my goodness.
Yeah.
incredible.
Dude, hey, dear, did you
Oh.
see that shit? I said that on somebody else's show. I'm like, so where is the Unreal Engine?
No, they still in Slip's face. That stuff look beautiful.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's doing workout.
It's wonderful.
Yeah,
I was just at awe with how beautiful it looked. Incredible. They made it look even better than before. I don't know what they're doing, but keep it up.
I thought the Halo was dead. Who keep telling them
Yeah, I
lies?
thought it was.
Yeah, for real.
That game has been in the top 20 for the last 15 months.
That's insane.
The hell?
Man,
Another
I'm
great number for
exaggerating
Xbox
it.
game. As you can see on screen, Halo Infinite Forge mode hits over 1 million creations for a
Wow.
dead game. By the way, that's pretty
Wow.
impressive for a dead game.
Yeah, for real. That's a million people dead, huh?
Yeah, hey,
That's
yeah.
a million dead people.
Yeah. So
Who did that for you? That slip space engine is the son of a bitch, huh? Shout out to Jason Ronald and his badass surface.
Yeah. Yeah.
hey, 100 calling out Zinc, man. Oh shit, NASCAR. Oh shit. Hey, but Chuck Master.
Oh man, hey, Zeke, you put it on yourself, man.
I do.
All you need now is a torn T-shirt and a Chevy cap. You in there?
Hey, and a Confederate flag that they have.
Hey man, we was in the cars like that. You remember that movie that Richard Pryor made where he raced a car? What was that movie?
Oh,
I know what you're
Remember
talking
that?
about.
It's called Kentucky Derby or something.
Grease lightning.
Grease lightning. Yeah.
What you talking about, Hunter? My nigga, what you talking about?
Oh, shit. All right, so Tuck Master, you there?
Uh-oh.
I'm here.
Yeah, I'm about to sick Sega Man on your ass if you didn't reply, man.
That Afro pick, nigga. Yelling in the
All right, Tuck, take it easy, man.
All right, brother.
All right, brother.
He probably got to go to work because I think he works nights.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, hey, that's cool, man. But hey, everybody, check out Tuck on his channel where he does the Lions Den podcast. But hey, Daya. So Daya, for our final top bullet tonight, as you can see, every time a game hits Game Pass these days, it's a massive success. Forza 28 million players. Atomic Heart is 2023's most popular game.
Nice.
Xbox launch. And remember that launched day one on Game Pass, right?
Love it.
What was the other one? Oh,
I'm
yes,
stuck, but I love it.
Hi-Fi Rush. Even even High on Life being Xbox Game Pass's biggest third-party launch, right?
Love it.
So good,
So, yeah, so I want to get your thoughts on this, Daya. Is this the new reality? Is this just the measurement of success has changed? And I think that we see it going forward is how big is the game on Xbox, particularly Game Pass? What are your thoughts on this?
Well, I see this as probably the lowest point it's ever going to be because the games was coming out of the pandemic. So any kind of issues that you have with games or delays, this is going to be the tail end of it. So that means pushing forward. One thing Xbox is showing you, look at the quality of the games. Look at High on Life. Look at Atomic Heart. I think Atomic Heart is a beautiful game.
Yes,
it's beautiful.
It is.
I'm just amazed, and I think
it almost looks. I'm sorry.
Okay. No problem.
It almost looks only next gen. It doesn't even look plugged in.
Yeah.
Like it's incredibly. I mean, is that on Unreal Engine
Is that
5 is
Unreal?
coming?
Is
I
that
I
don't
Unreal Engine
know. I
5?
mean,
think it's Unreal Engine 4.
It's
Yeah.
4?
4?
Okay.
Oh wow. Okay.
Mhm.
But
But that's
it's
how dope the Unreal Engine is. Well, Sega Man and I know we played Gears. But go
Yeah.
ahead,
okay.
Gears.
Okay. And look, it looks like that.
No,
Oh, yeah.
Gears looks better than that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I still have that on my list to play. I haven't gotten around to it because I play
You
games
could
a
play
lot
with
slower.
Sega Man and us, and we'll show you how bad that shit is in horde mode. Go on.
Oh, man.
Oh, okay. Okay, we'll
Yeah.
have to set up a date for it then.
There's a
Okay, but
character in there that looks like Tuck. You'll like it.
oh,
Stop and think about.
This shit, dude.
but what this screams out to me though is the quality. Like
Mhm.
it doesn't matter if it's a smaller game, a large game, a shadow drop game. It doesn't really matter. In games like even Vampire Survivors, which haven't helped me, I'm so addicted to. I don't know why, but the thing that it just
Still addicted
hooked
to
me
that
in and
game.
won't let me go. But a little game like that, the gameplay is so magnificent that this is what I have to look forward to. And they haven't even brought out the creme de la creme of their games yet. They haven't even given you the
Nope.
best, right? So I mean, this is just the start. And I don't, whoever doesn't want to have Game Pass, that's okay. I can keep it all for myself. All right. We don't need more people. I just want more games like this. They are doing a fantastic job and they are proving this model. I don't know why other companies are not jumping on it, but this model works. It doesn't
Yes.
matter how big or small the game, and it's been tested over and over. How many times are people going to say, how are games going to do in Game Pass? It kills game. No, it doesn't. Now, I will agree with one thing though, that not all games need to be day and date launches in Game Pass, but I do believe that having a presence in Game Pass makes sense for all games, even if they're at the end of their life or in
Yeah.
the middle or
Yeah.
something. It
They
just
give them
depends on the
new life.
game.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. And keep the game longer because all that hard work went into some, and Microsoft picked some of the best games. It is no fodder going in here. Some of the best games I've ever seen in some area or another. It's like the game either has to be unique, it has to it's all, they all have to have quality, but it has to be something that it helps them to stand out. Because I noticed that idea Xbox, for instance, they go for specific games. They don't just pick anything. So
Right.
I really like the quality in the game. So what this tells me is that the model is working. The games are fantastic, and to think this is coming out of the pandemic, so you're going to have any of the titles that didn't get as great a score as others, and all this is probably going to be the last you see of that. Moving forward, you're just going to see incredible games, and oh my gosh, we're in for an incredible time. This year is going to be great, and I just can't wait for this year and next year and the year after that.
Correct.
I just say, Xbox gamers, hold on, don't let these people push you out of this. Ride this roller coaster to the end because it's been fantastic so far. This has been a great year.
Even High on Life, dear. Look how beautiful it looks.
Oh,
High on Life looks
that
nice
was.
as hell too.
Full game.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
cannot believe that game looks so good. It doesn't even matter the style. It still looks like
It
it's
almost looks
very
like a
good.
Disney Pixar movie. That's what it looks like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was still so
Different.
good. Yeah.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
you're right about the quality, stacking up as time goes forward.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yes.
and he go ahead and speak on the topic about if this is the new measurement of success, if you will. Just seeing how he bought somehow every time a game hits Game Pass now, every article just shows how it does well.
Look, Microsoft took a gamble, right, with an idea that anyone else could have done or thought about, right? And it's not a new idea. It was an idea that was done years ago by Intellivision and even Sega, right? They tried the same idea, but it was so ahead of its time because the internet just wasn't there, right? So that's why it wasn't as pivotal as it is right now. Just Microsoft took it to another degree, right? By putting games day and date, whether it's indie games, whether it's first parties, whether it's exclusives, and obviously they knew themselves that it wasn't going to show profit right away because it's never been done before. It's something that's unheard of, unorthodox when it comes to gaming, because gaming is something that's really been stuck in the relic traditional ways for a long time, right? But obviously the gamble paid off, and the more and more that you see the success stories like Arrow, right, like that, extreme adventure game that came out with those little games, like what we saw with, with Cuphead and Ori and right, and Sea of Thieves, where it's still getting bigger and stronger and just gain more people, and so it's still an active game all these years later. And now with Forza, and with these new IPs like High on Life, Hi-Fi Rush, and now even Scorn did okay, even though the media kind of dogged on it, but it did okay as well, and it still is on Game Pass, so it can still keep moving forward. Yeah, we had some letdowns like Crossfire X that people didn't really gravitate to, but that's only because there's a lot of Call of Duty, clones, and that probably.
The Hebot. Would you say that in the case of Crossfire X, that's the anomaly, and this is the status quo?
Right.
Yeah. Absolutely. That's what I'm trying to say. It is an anomaly because you got to understand that Crossfire X is also mimicking something that there's a lot of, like, for example, like Call of Duty. It's a very Call of Duty-esque style game, right? And it wasn't bad. It was actually a really good game. I bought it. I think you bought it as well. But because people are thinking, oh, it's just another Call of Duty wannabe, they probably didn't gravitate as much. But as you can see, with everything else thus far, even that game Arrow, where you fly the ship with the music and you do all the alignments based on the music rhythm. And even you fight the bosses based on music rhythm. That game is really dope. They're making Arrow 2 now, going straight to Xbox exclusively again. Same thing like Song of Iron. Song of Iron was exclusive, still is. Now they're making the sequel. It's still exclusive to Xbox. There's a lot of things that people try to act like they turn their other eye because they'll be like, oh, but it's not really a AAA. It doesn't matter. If they're great games, that's all that matters. That AAA nonsense that a game is only valuable or it's only good unless it has a AAA budget is just nonsense. That's done. That's been done. And we discussed this how many times, E-Rock, until we turned purple, green, black, blue. Like, we've been said this. We said, listen, great games are going to do well no matter what. Great games do well as long as they're good. It's not going to matter the budget. And Game Pass, once again, has proven that. And, it has cemented that. And it also, has given us the what you call it, the bragging rights of saying, hey, we were right because we were solidified, in other words, right? And so, again, I think that Game Pass moving forward is the new standard for the industry, no matter how many people try to deny it. I think it's just going to get bigger and better, and we're going to see more success stories as it goes along. And I'm almost certain to a big degree that Sony and if they don't die before then, and Nintendo will adapt the model at some point. They will adapt it. They may deny it all they want, but they're going to have to do it because if not, they're going to be stuck in the bottom of the heap as far as making money. They're never going to climb up the ladder the way Microsoft has if they don't try something different that actually works. Because the biggest thing that makes Game Pass successful, which we said it 1,000 times, it's giving the gamers the ability to play games at no risk, period. You play a game, before it used to be a demo, now you're playing a full-fledged game with no risk. You don't have to worry about if you're going to like it or not. You don't have to worry about, damn, am I going to spend $70 in this game is trash, like Forspoken. Some people may feel Forspoken was a waste of their money. You see what I'm saying? And you don't have to worry about that because if Forspoken would have launched on both Xbox, for example, and PlayStation, where you think it would have had more success? On Xbox. Because if it would have been on Game Pass, nobody would have hesitated to play it. And if they felt it was good enough to buy, they would have bought it. And if they felt it wasn't good enough to support it, they would have also never supported it. It's that simple. It's the risk factor. The risk-free factor is what makes Game Pass on another level. So I would say yes. I think it's the industry standard, and going forward, it's just going to get bigger and better, and you will see everybody else adapt this. Maybe not tomorrow, maybe not in a year, but they will adapt it. Sony, Nintendo, if they're not gone, like I said, Sony at that point, they will adapt it because if not, they will be gone. You need revenue.
The thing is, the reason they won't adapt to, especially Nintendo's demographic, no matter what anyone says, it's 12 and under. And they're going to sell the same games we played in 1982 today to every kid that's 10 and under, that's 12 and under.
No, Nintendo's graphic is 12 and under, and grown men seeking kids that are 12 and under. So I just had to, I just had to
Oh, but
clarify
they'll
that.
adapt it because they're trying to do it kind of now with the subscription that they got. The only thing the
Yeah, but
subscription that they got is kind of boho.
But
You know what I mean?
Here's why it doesn't work though. It won't work with them because you need a Call of Duty in there. The reason Game Pass work is back to the Xbox documentary when Ed Fry said, and Ballmer went in on the business side, and the business side was terrible. And then Jeff Backus said, Ballmer said, "What are your reserves for returns?" And that's where the reoccurring profits come in. What makes Game Pass work is Sea of Thieves, Halo, Forza, Flight Simulator. They continue to push money into the product with
You're talking about they need something to. Well, they're kind of doing that with Splatoon, right?
But
Splatoon is kind of that game for them.
But do they buy things?
But not to the level of obviously Halo or Sea of Thieves, right?
And that's what the problem is. And see, Game Pass, and once you get that where you can put money back into into your concept,
the service. Yeah.
Then the business model is appropriate. Then you could dwell on 25 million times $15, which is $375 million a month. But they continue to pump money into the business, and it's like a sales rep. What are you bringing into the business? Then we'll give you your bonus. You know what I mean? And have that methodology to put that money back in the Game Pass. That's why when Jim Ryan flew E-Rock's jet to Brazil, and he said, he said, we can never produce that kind of model that quick. That's why they're trying to keep games off of Game Pass.
Right.
Yeah.
Not produce those type of residuals. And
it took Microsoft a long time to get to where they are. We all know that.
Yeah, and see, and you brought that up when you first started, and they knew where they were going. They said they had the business plan. And they said we have to. Gears of War was I think Gears 5 was the first guinea pig in it. But what they did with Gears is they said, because they were afraid of it, they said, well, if you buy the collector's edition, you can play it like 3 or 5 days early. I was one of those that bought it, and they sold it was like 3.5 million people bought the collector's edition, and it was like, we're on to something. And then they blew it a little bit because they didn't know how well it was going to work, and they charged too much for microtransactions. But when they saw the model up, they reduced all of those microtransactions, and now we have what we have. Boom, A Star Is Born. You know, that star turned into a cash cow. Now they can build off the residuals from what Gears of War produces now. And
Hey, excellent stuff there, Zink. And Terrence Smith said I'm too. Yeah, Smith, Terrence. I know that you like when I talk about the Square Enix stuff. So you're gonna have to check the replay when we talk about that studio for Spoken Studios shutting down. But E-Rock, we're gonna get your thoughts on this. So E-Rock, I know that you and we both have a great affinity for Netflix in particular. You know, we see the Netflix influence when it comes to Game Pass. But I do want to ask you this: as we see we've seen this, especially lately, E-Rock, from Hi-Fi Rush to High on Life to Forza Horizon to Halo to Atomic Heart. E-Rock, is this level of success the new standard measurement of what we see in success in gaming?
It's the new measuring stick. What we see, how we gauge success in gaming. You and I said back in 2020 when we started the Exile podcast that this is a paradigm shift. It's a shift of the status quo, meaning it's a shift of how things are done in gaming. Normally, when I was coming up and when I was a young man in my 20s and even in my late 30s and early 40s, you went to a brick and mortar store. and bought your video games.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the
Mhm.
standard. Whether it was good or bad, you ate it on that $60. You ate it on that $60. Whether Madden 13 was good or not, you ate it on that $60, right? Then the digital era came where you could buy games digitally. And whether it was good or bad, you ate it on that $60. Game Pass came along in 2017, and some of us were immediate adopters. I was an immediate adopter because a dude named Andy Mack had gave me a trial of it, and I was blown away. There were some folks who weren't convinced. I'm not going to name them by name because I respect them, but some folks are like, oh, well, all it has in it was old stuff, old games from Xbox. And I said to myself then in 2017, who the fuck complains about having more? Who complains about having more? So now I got access to backwards compatibility, all of Microsoft's old games. But then in 2000, whenever Gears 4, Gears 5 came out, something weird happened.
Nice.
And Xbox started putting their games, their exclusives in their day and date. That was it. That was the game changer. That right there was the game changer that nobody wanted to accept or admit. And you had these pundits who are stuck in yesterday. I get it, man. I get it. You guys, you love yesterday. You want it to be yesterday, but things change. There are people out there who still want Blockbuster Video back. God bless you, but the status quo now is Netflix and streaming services. Because of Netflix, now you have Paramount Plus, Disney Plus, Hulu, all of this stuff. Because these guys from El Gato, California, went out there and said, you know what? We're getting tired of we're losing money shipping you DVDs, and you're not giving us our DVDs back. You want to watch these movies? You stream it now. Yeah. Well, I did it. I'm guilty. Well, how are we going to?
I'm not allowed to even eat.
How are folks going to watch our movies? Look, man, and Netflix said this, and people did not protest. It's called the internet.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta move from past this 56K shit and get the new shit, man, and get the new hotness. You know, fiber optics. That's the new hotness now. So getting back to Game Pass, no one understood what they were doing in 2017. I thought it was great. I thought it was great to have more, but people kept saying for years that Game Pass doesn't make any sense. It's not going to be profitable. It's not going to be a profit margin for Xbox. We don't understand what this is. And slowly but surely, they just kept building. Sea of Thieves, day and date, and Game Pass. They just kept building and building and building and building and building and building and stacking and piling on. And soon you started seeing these heavy hitters like Shadow of the Tomb Raider. These heavy hitters, all of the Dooms, all of the Wolfensteins. Then these obscure out of nowhere third-party titles, day and date, like Outriders. They just kept building and building and building and building upon Game Pass until here we are, March 2nd, 2022, where I'm on Game Pass this morning, and I was like, okay, Atomic Heart's all right, but I don't have time to play it right now. I got too much shit. Delete. Okay, Mountain Blade Bannerlord is okay. Delete. What else? Okay, this is okay. Delete. Not that these aren't amazing games.
And
not
then,
that these aren't fantastic games.
Then you have one of Sony's games coming in MLB The Show again.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
3 years in a row. Yeah.
One of the greatest mic drop moments in gaming history.
Listen, we are at a point where I don't think y'all really listened to what I just said. I just deleted 3 games today.
Correct. You got too many games, but we ain't got no games. We ain't got.
Other sick. Repeat what you just said again.
You got too many games, but let the internet tell it we ain't got no games.
That is Game Pass. Not one of these games I deleted was fodder. Mountain Banner, Blade Lord, probably one of the best strategy games out there. Atomic Heart, a fantastic shooter with, as Dia said, amazing graphics. I just got too many games.
Right.
I know one of us that's playing. What's that one game I'm playing, Sega Man? The strategy game.
Oh,
Age of
that's
Empires.
was that Bug Snacks?
Age of Empires. Thinking, man, you wild.
Serious.
Oh,
That one role play, that RTS game I'm
Age
playing.
of Empires.
Age of Empires 2.
Age of
Yeah,
Empires, yeah.
I'm the only one playing that shit. Go ahead.
You have a game service that if you don't like any of the shit that I like, maybe Vampire. What's that game with the little 8-bit game, Vampire Saviors or Vampire?
Survivor.
Survivor. I've been addicted to that thing. Yeah.
That's a very
Maybe.
addicting
I
game.
bought
I'm
it. Yeah, I
really
just
high up
couldn't
in that
stop.
game.
And she bought it. And that's
Yeah.
what I'm talking about. You get a free trial and you like a game so much, like, hey, forget it, man. They earn my respect. I'm going to go ahead and cop this. That's how
Maybe.
Unlimited will buy the
Yeah.
hard copy of the game. Hey, E-Rock, you were on a roll. I didn't want to interrupt you, but you forgot to say what Don Matrick meant to you and Unlimited, because he gave Netflix a new business model by dropping that bitch on the Xbox. It's like, hey,
Yes, sir.
instead of sending CDs across with Jim Ryan to Brazil, and what's that island you said? E-Rock?
Karen Island.
Karen.
Karen Island. You can just download this bitch. How about that?
Find their motto has been find your next favorite game. It doesn't matter if it's Vampire Survivor, or it doesn't matter if it's High on Life, or it doesn't matter if it's Atomic Heart, which is going to get more exposure now because it's on Game Pass. It doesn't matter if tomorrow when I try Wolong Fallen Dynasty, I don't like it at all because it's a Souls-like. It doesn't matter. The fact is for my $15 a month, it's there.
Yes.
This is something that we have never seen before. Yes, other people have tried it, Sega and television, but nobody has perfected it. This is, again, the Netflix of gaming. It is the new status quo. There has been a paradigm shift in digital entertainment. We're at the forefront of a new frontier, and it's because of Xbox. People have tried to downplay Game Pass. People have tried to say the Game Pass wasn't profitable. They've tried anything they could because they saw the handwriting on the wall when Outriders was so successful. And now you got game after game after game. High on Life, huge success. Hi-Fi Rush, huge success. Just success after success.
Yeah, but remember too, E-Rock, they also had things like EA, that EA program.
EA
Oh,
Play.
yeah.
That's also part of
So
Game
you
Pass.
get, and you got all the sports. Your annual sports games go there now.
That's true.
Yeah,
You get to access them before anybody as well.
You can play Madden 23 right now, NBA 2K23 right now, MLB The Show in a couple weeks, NHL 23 right now. So
the new wrestling game, whatever.
Oh yeah,
Whatever
that's right. Yeah. So and I don't mean to interrupt. E-Rock, go ahead and finish.
Absolutely not.
No, it's just what else is there to say? But Game Pass has been an unmitigated success. There's no catching up to it. Other bigger companies like Google have tried.
Yep.
Google tried with Stadia. Stadia failed spectacularly because they just didn't have. They had the infrastructure, they had the money, they just didn't have anything to draw you there. And what draws people to you is these games that everybody want to play. Your Fortnite, your Roblox. So man, Game Pass is just it's the new status quo. But you might have mute your mic.
Sure. Sorry.
It's okay, man. It's a status quo that no one's going to be able to touch. And I know that's a bit much to say. Well, E-Rock, you can't say that in business. I'll say it this time. Who else has put in the work? Who else is for almost 8 years now? For almost 7 or 8 years, Microsoft has been putting all their ducks into these Azure servers and putting all their ducks into this gaming service. And now that it's a success, all you can do is just admit that this is the new status quo, and it's only going to get bigger and better from here. Like this could be this last couple of months of Game Pass could be the greatest validation and the greatest success and the greatest validation for the Phil Spencer era. He don't have to do no more. He could retire tomorrow. He could find his successor tomorrow. He don't have to do no more. He turned Xbox around, and a key component of that was Game Pass. I cannot imagine existing in this digital frontier. I'm not one of these old timers that long for yesterday. I like to revisit the 80s and the 90s from time to time in the early 2000s. But for people like Jabari Clark saying, "Oh, you Xbox, you know you missed the Xbox 360 era," like nigga, you high, you out of your fucking mind. There's nothing about that era.
We could play backwards compatibility if we feel like.
Well, he was saying we missed that era because of the perception. I don't give a damn about
for
perception.
free because it's included in Game Pass too. The backwards compatible.
What I care, you guys are missing the point entirely. Jabari Clark was trying to say that we missed the Xbox 360 era because of the perception that the Xbox 360 had. I don't give a damn about perception. What I give a damn about is I turned on my Xbox this morning and deleted 6 games off of my fucking hard drive. That's what I give a fuck about.
Telling me, Rob.
What a problem to have. What a problem to have.
Repeat what the fuck you just said.
Games, just too many. You told me.
Repeat what you just said.
What a fucking problem to have.
That is the new status quo.
Exactly.
Thank you, folks, and good night.
Hey, absolutely spectacular, E-Rock. And before we close it out, I do want to give my thoughts real quick. You know, and for me, E-Rock, and the rest of the panel, I do want to. This is with seeing this level of success. And Heba, is that you with the background noise?
Yeah, probably. I'm sorry. Let me.
Yeah, but I do want to say this: seeing this consistent success is what I was looking for, E-Rock. And the reason why I look for consistent success is because it's a pattern. Now it's one thing when Halo does well. It's Halo. It's gonna do well. It's one thing when Forza does well, right? But Atomic Heart is the most popular Xbox launch. What?
Yep.
So
out of nowhere.
Yeah. You know, on Game Pass, High on Life, a game that didn't have a commercial, Zinc, came out last December. And it was the biggest third-party launch in Game Pass history, in its short history, right? So I look at this stuff, and I look at
Hi-Fi Rush.
Hi-Fi Rush.
Yeah.
We didn't even know that game existed.
Exactly, and it was so big, it crushed, it killed the studio, right? The game was such a hit, it killed the studio. And I look at this E-Rock, Zinc, Daya, and Sega Man, and I say, okay. Now we've reached that crescendo point. Now we reached that point where it's no longer, man, look how great this game does. Isn't that surprising? Now it's like, what's the next game that's going to be the big hit?
We expect it.
Yes, exactly. My expectations have changed, E-Rock. My expectations no longer, man, I hope this game does well. It's now, shit, I can't wait to see what Starfield does. So that, because I know Starfield is just going to, Starfield's going to put money in the pockets of the Hellblade developers, which, by the way, we're going to see Hellblade this summer. That's going to happen 1,000,000%. They already hinted it on the interview yesterday, right?
I got to watch that.
Yeah. So check it out, because they literally said that Phil visited a Ninja Theory today.
You dog.
Yeah.
You just had to, you dog.
Yeah, exactly, man.
He did hint that he was going to go see them today. He did. You're right.
Yep. And so the whole thing, the whole point of this is like, okay, now that I know what Game Pass could do, what's the next step after this, right? What's that next level of success? Is it 50 million? Is that where we're going to next? Because my God, E-Rock, if a game hits 50 million players, that's reaching GTA levels.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
Unlimited. We over here throwing food away. That's how good we eating.
Yeah, exactly.
I threw food away this morning.
Exactly. I've been telling people. I've been telling people for months, don't keep up with 2023. Don't even try. If you
Unlimited Production said, man, I ain't playing all this.
Yeah, no.
He said, I can't.
Are you kidding me? No, hell no. I ain't. You think I'm going to sit there and play every fucking game? There's a new game that hits every week.
But we have it though. We have that
exactly.
choice.
And that's the beauty of it. And that level of choice is bringing on a different. How can I put this? It's like gamers are even gaming differently now.
Yep.
Like, as E-Rock said a few minutes ago, he played a game, deleted it off his console. If he ever want to go back to Atomic Heart, it's right there.
Yep.
Your mentality changes now. Now we aren't script. You know, there's a time where if the games we're getting now was released in 2020, like in 2011, we'd be screwed financially.
There was a time we needed Atomic Heart. I don't mean to be disrespectful to Atomic Heart because it's a great game. There was a time we needed Mountain Blade Bannerlord. Yeah, I'll admit there were some dark times with Xbox where we had droughts. We don't need We don't need them no more, but we got them.
No.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
unbelievable.
We've reached such a point of content. You know, and Xbox won the content wars. By the way, it's so clear that they
Oh
did.
gosh, yeah.
The content war ended. I mean, they're about to have Activision games on Game Pass.
Yeah.
The shit's over, right? So they
This
win the
year.
content wars, and what happens now is that we got so much content. This is what's going to happen. I'm telling you right now. We're going to have a generation of spoiled Xbox gamers, and they're going to be spoiled because their new normal. Iraq. There's a little kid right now who got an Xbox for the first time, maybe in the last year or so, and he doesn't know a world without Game Pass. And so now his gaming expectations going forward is why would I play PlayStation if I got hundreds of games on my Xbox I could access anytime? A spoiled fucking asshole as a kid. He don't know any better. He don't know the days where you only got a game on your birthday like I did growing up.
All of us.
He don't know the days of looking under the Christmas tree hoping your parents made enough to buy a game for Christmas.
Yeah.
He don't know them days.
He don't understand the concept of waiting until November for Spider-Man. He don't. That's crazy. Could you imagine? Yo, man, we gotta wait all the way till November to Starfield. We ain't gotta wait for shit.
Look, fellas, real quick to add to what y'all saying.
Phil is smothering us with shit. God damn, Phil.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Hebot.
Real quick, what I wanted to say, look, when a game like Power Wash Simulator reaches success on Game Pass, that should tell you everything you need to know, right, Dale? Am I right? Am I wrong?
I got addicted to that game.
I did too.
Power
That
Wash
game does well. People will play. That tells you everything you need to know.
Yeah, hey, you're absolutely spot on, and that proves my point, Hebot. There's so much content now on Xbox. It's spoiling us. It's changed our expectations. It's changing the way kids are going to see gaming now. We've reached. Every once in a while in life, we reach these points of no return. The day the smartphones blew up with the first iPhone, point of no return. The world can't go back to not having smartphones. The world can't go back to not having internet, and now the gaming world can't go back to having Game Pass. You know, and
hey, how about this unlimited? It forget the kids. It ruins parents because parents say, "Hold on, I'm not buying you no damn game. Ain't that shit on Game Pass?"
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
you got that shit. I heard.
Yeah. Hey, shit. If Game Pass existed when I was a kid, my mom would definitely pull that on me.
It's turned guys in the Sega Man into a snob. You should have heard him the other day. What? There's not 20 games released in a day? Fuck this bullshit.
Hey, but you're not wrong because wait, you're not wrong, E-Rock, but in a different sense because people get upset when a game isn't on Game Pass now.
Yeah,
that's a real thing.
Yeah.
That
is a true argument you see. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It is.
So that's how big this paradigm shift is, E-Rock. And if you told me in 2017 it was going to be like this, I would have never saw it coming.
Nigga, 2020.
Yeah.
We went talking in 2020. In 2020. We would have never saw it. Like, this is ridiculous.
When they first announced Game Pass, none of us, look, all of us, we were all in denial, like doubting. We were all like, yo, I don't know if this is going to work.
Oh, wow. You thought that? What up? Wow. Well,
hey, listen, hold on. Hey, even I did. And Ramo, your favorite, dear, our kids told us, he was like, wait a minute, you don't have to buy that. That's in Game Pass. Me and my boy Ramo did not. Our kids told us, well, they were in high school by the time, but they were like, no, you don't have to buy that. It's a Game Pass. And sure it was.
Yep.
Wow.
And I think what makes everything so perfect, Zinc, is that no matter how you access an Xbox game, you're supporting Xbox and developers.
Mm-hmm.
They don't care. They don't care if you buy the game. They don't care if you play it on Game Pass. All they care about is that, hey, did somebody buy Xbox or use Game Pass or use the Xbox ecosystem? Yes, cool. And you know, and I've noticed that since everything's changed, people don't know how to process it the way that we do and the way that the chat does. Where I think we understand what's going off going forward, but the gaming world clearly don't because they're still trying to pretend that the Atomic Heart devs or something are supposed to be upset even though the game has success. So I'm going to wrap it up there. You know. was pretty much my thoughts. Everybody was that the paradigm shift was so extreme. It's literally changing the way we view gaming.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, we're going to do our outros after an absolutely fantastic show. This might be my favorite Unlimited Truth episode we've ever done. But with that said, hey, Sega Man, let them know where they could find you.
Hey, man, you can always. Hey, another thing, great show, Brother Unlimited, man. It was a very, very good show. The panel was on fire, the chat was on fire. But hey, man, like we guys told you, bro, this is a really great day and year to celebrate Xbox, man. The diehard Xbox fans out there that were true since day one, man, since the OG to now. I mean, it's time for celebration, and it does feel like the 360 days.
Right.
It does feel like the 360 days. The 360 days, they were dominating, they were destroying. 360 was destroying everything out there. It was the darling of that time, in gaming. And I'm feeling the same way right now with the Xbox Series S and X. It feels that way again. It really does. And it's even better with Ultimate Game Pass, man. It's crazy, man. And we got a lot to look forward for. E3, guys. E3.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot to look forward to. And I'm going to say it again on my Brother Unlimited show. I have a feeling that we're going to get another surprise drop game, and we're going to get some surprises we didn't see coming, man. It's going to knock us out of our socks.
Let me cut him off. Forget E3. We have shows coming. Dude, we're going to see
Starfield showcase. Yeah.
We're going to see more things coming even before E3 gets here.
Look at Hebot. What are you doing? What are you doing, man? Hebot is crazy, man. What are you doing?
Man, I don't even know what that was.
I don't know either. I couldn't see it. It's a game,
man.
Is that a moonshine gin?
You guys, you can always find me, man, on what's he doing?
Oh, is that a game? What is that?
Game?
Yeah, what game? Hebot, you mute, man. What game is that?
It's Raiden, shoot 'em up. Raiden 5, shoot 'em up.
Oh, okay.
You're just teasing me. That's why you put that up there.
I'm physical.
He knows I like shoot 'em up, so I'm gonna have to go get it now. See what he did?
Yeah. Hey, Hebot, man, let them know where they can find you.
Oh, wait, let me do my shout out, man.
Oh, yeah. My bad. Go ahead.
Do a shout because I know you gotta go. But you can always find me on my channel, guys, at Sega Man 101, the Alpha, on the weekends. And if I'm not doing things with the family, it's usually going to be on a Saturday. You know what I mean? On a Sunday, if we're not doing our other fantastic podcast, which is the Exile podcast, where it all started for me with my brother E-Rock. And we have really exploded into all fantastic, podcasts like the Unlimited Truth, the Alpha, the Exile, the Lions Den. We got next. You know what I mean? All these great podcasts we have, man. And on that note, man, Charlie, man, you need to get at me, all right? You need to get at me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? She has to get at me, man. She's gonna have to do a podcast with us, bro.
Who Charlie? Who you after now, man? Is she a video game character?
Charlie Hudson did the interview on Xbox On with Phil Spencer.
Yeah, she that thick girl.
Yeah, she is.
Hey, Phil, man.
She's pretty.
Is she black or white?
She's white with yellow hair. She does Forza Monthly.
Hey, Phil, man, me and you got to talk, man. You got to give some interviews to the brothers, man. What's going on with you, man? You eating like a brother.
It's a reason Phil gained all that weight. He ain't sharing shit.
Y'all are tripping.
You know what I mean? I'm about getting tired of this, man. You know what I mean? Like, look, never mind. Let me finish your show, man. I'll say that great for Sunday.
Yeah. Hey, you done, Sega Man?
Yes, brother. Yes.
All right, hey, Hebot, man, let them know where they can find you.
Well, you can find me here right now because I didn't. My signal didn't cut out for once. Usually I cut out never in the end. But yeah, man, it's been great. Nice show, like always. Good to come in for a little bit and chop it up with my brothers. Big shout outs to the chat, like always, throwing that smoke, that heat, like they always do, and adding to insult to injury, as always, making ponies angry. Big shout outs to Dia for joining us again. It's nice to be on the
For sure.
chat and on the cast with her again. Hope to do more shows with her in the future
Yes.
because she's very insightful. It's nice to see a point of view from a woman's perspective that's an actual gamer, not just trying to flaunt herself in the interwebs, being fake. And that's a refreshing to see because you could tell that she loves gaming and her passion. And
Yes.
always, you guys can find me in the Alpha with my brother Sega Man, Exile with my brother E-Rock. And obviously, when I do We Got Next, and with our brother Sega Forever when he does the Wrecking Crew
Podcast. Yes.
wrecking stuff on Friday nights usually. So I'll be tomorrow, I think. Yeah, and and thank you for sticking there, and giving me support through these trying times, and not giving up on me because I'm still around. It's just a work in progress, and it's it's just something that it takes time. That's it.
That's right.
Yeah, hey man, absolutely fantastic, fantastic. My big brother E-Rock X, let them know where they could find you.
And man, you can find me on the E-Rock X channel. This Sunday we got another Exile podcast coming up, man, where we will talk about vaporware, these games that were supposed to come out that we're still waiting on, and we will talk about other topics. Dia, you are more than welcome to join us. Sacred Man or Unlimited will give you the particulars. But hey, man, it was a great show, and this is a great time to be an Xbox fan, man.
Yes.
Game Pass is just killing it, man. Game Pass is just, I can't imagine a life without Game Pass. It's one of the things, some folks say that the older you get, things aren't as great anymore. That's bullshit, man.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying entertainment, and Game Pass is rocking, and life is good, man. And if you're an Xbox gamer, man, these last 2 years, these last 3 years, this is your victory lap, man. This is your victory lap. And I know people are saying, well, E-Rock, man, why aren't you dancing on the Sony fans' graves? Why aren't you making videos? Look, man, look. There's no sense in beating a dead horse. There's no sense in fucking continuing to dog out the Cincinnati Bengals. It is what it is, man. Like these guys have lost. They've lost spectacularly. And all we can do now is watch the seething, watch the 7 stages of denial that they have, watch the fucking meltdowns on Twitter and on YouTube of Crap Gamer. All of a sudden, Crap Gamer is so congratulatory on Twitter. Like, congratulations, Hi-Fi Rush, congratulations. Man, nigga, get out of here. Get out of here. Nigga, keep that same energy you had from 2018 when Spider-Man came out to 2020.
That boy playing stupid. He don't want to drown with the sinking ship. He don't want to drown with the Titanic.
MGB, my former partner, Kid Smooth, Mooch, Weapon Wheel Podcast, Jabari Clark, Porter Rock, all of y'all, man. Colin Moriarty, keep that same energy. You hate you, E-Rock. You're a racist, and you and he bought a toxic and bad for gaming. Yeah, all that shit. I'm loving it. I would have waited forever for this, but man, I'm too tired to even care about y'all defeat because we saw this coming 3 years ago. Unlimited production. I'm glad you're here to witness this. And when Sony finally closes its doors, we are going to have a celebratory podcast where we crack champagne. We're going to order lobsters. I might order some dancers from Delilah's Den. Yo, it's going down, man. But it was a great show. And thanks for being here. Other Zeke, you the man. Dia, always great to have you. And Sega, man, thanks for your obscure references to the early 70s. It's always great to try to figure out what the fuck hair conk is on a hot comb. I'm out of here.
Oh shit, man. Hey, Other Zinc, let them know where they can find you.
I'll be quick, man. So the first lady of chat to close the show. And I think we just missed Terrence Smith, and I think you mentioned him, Unlimited, Hail Hydra, The Realest One. And I wanted to read a few comments, but we too long. But yeah, go ahead, take. And you can find me where all of the fellas are and 100 show. Talk to y'all later.
Yeah, that's right. And chat, yeah, I apologize. I couldn't get to y'all guys, but we had 7 people at one point. And that's just way too much to manage that in the chat. But the chat was absolutely fantastic.
Yes.
Please,
It
guys,
was great.
always keep commenting. As I
Oh,
say, I read every single comment.
Mhm.
Even if I don't have time to address you, I read them, and I appreciate everyone. But we're going to close out with the first lady of chat. Close it
Oh,
out.
okay. Well, I don't have to do too much uplifting today. We had a great day today, and we're starting to see everything come to fruition, just as I said. And look, enjoy it, everybody. I mean, the games are rolling. Don't feel yourself pressured to have to play every game. Just pick and choose, and that's what we're in. We're in the position now that whether it's from EA, Ubisoft probably coming next. No matter what, we have all these games at our disposal that we can just pick and choose from. Think about that. So you won't be able to play everything. Just sit back and enjoy it. And now the first parties are going to start rolling in, and the quality that we're seeing from Xbox is impressive. I don't care what anybody says. Other developers wish they could be on the level like that. What I saw with Forza just blew my mind. What Ninja Theory is doing is incredible. I'm really looking forward to what they're doing. And even like I said before, that they pick and choose very good quality games for different varying reasons, whether it's unique content, good looking content, or just sometimes helping a developer along, because that's why not all games are going to be stellar. But that's okay, because when those developers get really good, they won't forget the fan base that they have in Xbox. They're remembering this. They're starting to see a difference now that let's face it, Sony doesn't support that, their players don't support those games all the time. They don't know, they may not always know why, but they know that when a game comes to Game Pass, it gets supported, and we're seeing that. Okay, we have the numbers to back that. So this is a great time. And so all I can leave you with now is enjoy your games. Please get out there and play them, because there's so many. Support these developers as much as you can that are putting these games in Game Pass, and let them know you appreciate these games. And even if you just try them out and you don't like them, that's fine too. They understand that. Okay, they're not dumb. They understand that their games are meant for the people who appeal to them. All right. So this is what I leave you with. You'll find me in the chat. I've also been popping up in different podcasts. I think I was in the Wrecking Crew with Sega Forever.
awesome.
And that was a really fun one too.
I
He's a
gotta
wonderful guy. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. My next
Yeah,
one is with
if you ever
Sega.
have insomnia, go check out the record.
Oh my God. I pushed myself so hard that night. That was so rough, but I enjoyed it though.
He had his podcast at 1 a.m. in the morning.
Sega forever. Yeah, that dude,
I'll be
man.
there.
But he's a wonderful man, and
He's
very
like Slide
knowledgeable.
Jock up all
And,
night.
and shout out to
No, remember when it's like 3 o'clock for us, it's like 10 o'clock for him.
Yeah.
That's
It's a
true.
6 hour
Yeah.
difference.
Yeah.
and shout out to Fireballs, and I speak.
Oh
to
yeah,
people that
Fireball.
don't.
Yeah. Well, all right. Well, thank you, Dale.
Unlimited.
What's up?
You getting ready to close out, right? Can I just say one more thing, man?
Yeah,
Yep.
go ahead.
Man, PlayStation sucks.
All right, everyone. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy the rest of the week. And
You are
we are
such a
out.
clown.
Peace,